Hi, everybody, and welcome. Welcome, everybody. I hope you're all excited. Do you see who we have here with us? We have a very exciting guest to join us today as we bridge the gap. We have Mr. Albe Back, a very talented fellow with a very incredible career, and we are going to learn from his story. So, welcome, Mr. Albe Back, to Bridge the Gap. My name is
Oh
Holden.
man, thank you,
Sorry, go ahead.
thank you for having me. I said thank you for having me.
No worries. It is our pleasure to have you. My name is Holden Stephan Roy, and joining us tonight is the Mr. Flaco Beo, who is going to hold it down and make sure that we guide this ship correctly through his infinite wisdom and knowledge. And alas, let me introduce you to what Bridge the Gap is so you understand what we are trying to do here. I'm born and raised in Montreal, Quebec, and I, like many people, are not that were not was not necessarily ingratiated so deeply into the culture into a more recent time, and I am facing the current situation where when I try to Google things, there are not many things to find. So what we realized is that there are many of us, such as myself, that are in a place of ignorance, and we can talk to many wise minds like Mr. I'll be back, and you can help us bridge the gap, sharing the knowledge nuggets that are associated with your life. And there are just a couple of things that are worth pointing out before we get into it. I've learned that you guys like to say this little phrase in the middle of the sentences that goes, nah, I mean. And whenever you're feeling that, you need to know that the answer is no, my friend. I personally probably will not know what you mean. It doesn't make sense to me. And that's why we're bridging the gap. And to give you further context, it goes as far as we have a person in Norway watching this. So if you think I don't know what you mean, the people in Norway also want to know what you mean. And this is really to bridge the gaps across the world. One second. Sometimes you need the water. So, with that being said, it is our pleasure to have you. I do have like a little token first question I like to start with to get the ball rolling. If it's okay with you, I can ask that question and we can start learning about your life. So, one time, and it's a bit of a lengthy question, so you have to bear with me a little bit, but it'll make sense when I get to the end. So, one time, my girlfriend's washing the dishes, and we're listening to that. She's listening to that Black Eyed Peas song, that like I got a feeling,
Feeling,
ooh, and that shit's like it just
ooh,
slaps right. Like it's
feel
just a
like
dancing.
and I feel
She's like
like.
dancing around. She's washing her dishes, and I had this like epiphany that like yo, this song. We used to be in the clubs to this song. We used to be in that circle dancing with our dorky dance to this song, drunk as fuck at 2 a.m. And then she's doing chores to it, and it's kind of like mom chore music now. And it made me realize that all the club bangers today, the bad and bougies, the everything I don't that's not so much today, whatever. They're all gonna be chore music one day because that's what people want to do with the chores. They want to dance around. They want to fuck around like that. They have a good time. And then I realized it brought me back to being a youth because your musical journey, right? It's not like when you started getting into music. It's a little bit before that. When I was like 5 and stuff, my dad's is rocking this Led Zeppelin on these tapes. I have no control. It's his music. It's his choices. My mom has those little bootleg 2.99 disco knockoff tapes where we're listening to shitty versions of disco hits. I remember Krista Berg and car rides and just these different influences and sounds that make up the soundtrack to my life before I had any say in the music in my life. And since you are such a prolific artist with such an incredible musical career, I have to know what is the sounds of like a 5 year old. I'll be back. What was the world that was going on? Was it the vinyls? What were your parents or whoever was around listening to? Maybe grandparents or siblings. So if you could walk us through the landscape before it was in your control, that would be a wonderful start.
Well, I'm from the South Bronx. I grew up with a father who was heavy. He was in the streets, but he wasn't a drug dealer. He was just around at all the things popping in the Bronx going on, and he played ball as well in the streets. So he had his ear to the street, I feel, but he was passionate about singing. He wasn't a singer, but he was passionate about it. He also could play the flute. And my mom played a lot of Spanish music, a lot of Hector Lavoe, a lot of uh, how can we say it? Hello, can you
No,
see?
you're good. You're good.
Yeah, She played a lot of Latin music. And then I had a lot of people in my apartment. It was 23 people in a 3-bedroom apartment. So there was just a lot of cousins and aunts and uncles and but I was in the middle of hip hop. So, born in 19 if you're saying when I'm 5, that's 88.
Okay.
And 1988 in the South Bronx was, it was all about hip hop. And I think I used to see Slick Rick just walk by in the courts, or I used to see you know the Zulu Nation just run right through the projects, or there was a lot of there was a lot of for me being 5 years old, since my dad was an OG and nobody was fucking around with him. I was able to be in a lot of the park jams. So I witnessed Dougie Fresh DJing in the park jams, or Ron G, or just a lot of these young hip hop DJs who are the start of it. I was watching them while they were young in the parks, and eventually outwardly, but mostly in the parks. They used to throw these jams, these big jams with these big speakers, and we didn't know it was hip hop. We didn't know what that was. We just knew it was a big party. So I got a chance to hear all that hip hop stuff growing up.
That's huge. Like we're like in the first question, and you've already dropped some crazy knowledge nuggets that are just interesting. First of all, your dad plays the flute. Maybe it's not the best, but that's interesting, right? Because you're gonna look at your dad.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
gonna
He
be
played.
playing the
He
flute.
played one song really well. He played that Chuck Mangione "Feel So Good" really well, and I think on the Rafael De La Ghetto album, I do a tribute to him toward with that song. But yeah, the flute is not an easy instrument.
But the fact is, you still saw him do that, and that gave you, I'm sure, at subconscious level, that had to have been a little bit of an influence on top of everything else, right? Um, you said you lived with 23 people in one place. Now, for you, that may be like a thing. For me, that is a baffling statistic. I'm born in 1987, right? So I'm also born in Montreal, Quebec, and I come from an apartment with like 4 people in it. So for me to hear that, I mean, it's a thing when you come from where I come from, but you don't really often talk to people who actually live through something like that. So that's just kind of incredible. That's like when I heard it, it's just like that, like because I know you have some social political messaging inside of your music. So I was just wondering if like you can expand on that a bit, what that's actually like.
Well, I mean, to expand on the duality of social, political, and 23 people in a 3-bedroom apartment, um, yeah, it forced me to blame someone. Um, it forced me to realize this is not normal. It's not what we're supposed to have. Just my mom was the master supreme ruler of everything in her room. So her room became an apartment, right? And so it's like, don't go in my room, or don't, not that she would say that, but like, to other people, it's like, or that was my juice in the refrigerator. There's only one fridge. There's only one bathroom. You know what I mean? So when you get to that space of frustration because um, you feel that your freedom is impeded on, it's not that we didn't all love each other or that we didn't have all good times. It was that we were up on each other a lot. So the arguing never got to a place where it was, oh my bad, I shouldn't have said that. It was this is our last day every day. You know what I mean? The way we talk to each other because we were so fed up. So I grew up blaming, the circumstance of my circumstance. I grew up blaming those that facilitated and facilitated the idea of a project, of an idea of housing, the idea of um, the brick and the asbestos and all that. I grew up with a chip on my shoulder, saying these are not these people's fault. Someone put them there, you know. And for them being islanders as well, Puerto Ricans finding not finding themselves because they're in a limbo of not knowing who they are. Yet they are warm-blooded islanders trapped in this concrete like forum. So I blame a lot socially on the powers that be.
Yo, I'll be back. Thank you so much for sharing that knowledge nugget right there because it is facts what you shared. It's a real perspective that needs to be put out there. Um, I don't often get to hear things like that from people. So I know for me, it gives me a greater sense of understanding of what's happening in the world. And I know for a lot of other people that when you share things like that, it will also have a great impact on them. So again, I want to thank you for that because, I know it's never fun to maybe discuss some of these things. Um,
I'm here. I'm here for it. I'm alive. There's a bunch of our friends and family members who aren't, and they that's what they want from me.
mm,
So uh, yeah, talk away, whatever you got.
I appreciate you. I'll be back. But I was curious to if we can talk a little bit more about you as a youth still, because there's a couple more things to ask. Were you interested in music off the jump then? Were you like dancing? Were you into the different elements?
Yeah. Bobby Brown really affected my life. I think Biz Markie really affected my life in the '80s. Slick Rick changed my world because and to this day, the art of storytelling, um, not the song or the album, the actual art form of storytelling is one that tickles my fancy. You know what I mean? Like I really, I not only appreciate it, I look forward and toward to I look forward and toward it. Mona Lisa was one of the first rap songs I've ever heard in my life that I feel I was in a pizza shop looking at this girl, um, and I was young. I had to be like first grade, and she must have been in first grade too. And I just remember her eating a pizza, or she was waiting on a pizza. And I just remember in the background that Slick Rick playing Mona Lisa, and and then he's rapping. I'm like, damn, this so. I remember saying, this sounds so good, like this person talking like this, and then going, and then he's like, I'll buy you a slice. You know what I mean? Um, when he did that and it was in my vision, it literally felt like a POV
Mm-hmm.
at 5 or 6. So from then on, I fully understood that there's somebody that's going to be on the microphone and they're going to be telling you their story. And so Bobby Brown, um, we would watch Video Music Box growing up. There wasn't that much. There wasn't NWA. None of that was out yet. So everything we got kind of was just, what we got from Video Music Box and what we got
So
from
let's.
the street.
I'm not 100% certain. I know what a video music box is, but you also shared a huge interesting thing. For you, it might be kind of self
Couple
evident,
interesting things.
but like the fact that you're just sitting in a pizza shop and Slick Rick
Yeah,
is just playing, like that's crazy
yeah.
for me to think about.
He's playing
Like
in the
as an
background.
idea, like you got to think about it. For you, that's normal. The idea that Slick Rick in its like infancy is playing in your pizza shop, sharing the music like that is like, wow, that is a fucking cool thing. Okay, that is.
Also, another thing to point out here, and you'll get as you get familiar with Albie and like his performing style, it's really interesting that he just named those three artists as because Bobby Brown, Biz Markie, Slick Rick are all three great artists, but what they definitely have in spades above other artists is their performance. Their performance, live performance as artists, is transformative. It's just another level that most artists don't really go to and get to go to. So for Albie to mention those three, like I think that when people mention artists that are not like your typical, you ask most hip hop heads, like who influenced them, and they're gonna name, the big somebody out of the big five, right?
Right.
But like to name people that are outside of that like spectrum of the big five and name artists like Slick Rick, who's an incredible live performing
Special ed,
artist.
bro.
He like and it's not surprising that he saw him in his projects, because I used to see Slick Rick in my projects, and I just
Mm-hmm.
feel like that is a testament to Slick Rick as an artist in the Bronx, how he used to get down, going to all the projects to perform everywhere, all over the Bronx, to get himself out there and his name out there. Biz Marquis, another artist that Biz Marquis, one of those first rappers that you heard about having songs written for him, but it didn't matter because those songs that he had written for them, nobody could perform them. You could give 100 artists those same exact words that Biz Marquis used, and none of them will be able to do what Biz Marquis did, because Biz Marquis as an artist, like what he brought is just another level, and it's that performance level again, live aspect that's like through the roof. And then Bobby Brown is just like another, for us.
Yeah, Bobby Brown was essentially a rapper. I don't think people really looked at how much of the poetry that was in, every little step I take, or just the fact that he was dancing in. And I think also his confidence. He always looked like he was happy, even if he he wasn't coked out. And then those days he was just young, energetic, young buck, like a young buck. Just I'm sure they drank and stuff like that, but he just always looked happy. You know what I mean? So yeah, those three. I mean, art and special ed, that changed my life. And D Nice, I had a D Nice vinyl that I scratched into oblivion. And ironically, now that's what he does. But my name is D Nice. D Nice. My name is D Nice, and niggas don't know how I did it. Pulling out his suckers, and yeah, that was a lot for me.
My name is D Nice. My name is D Nice.
My name is D Nice. Yeah. I used to record tapes. Stop, play, stop, record, and
when did you
play and record at the same time?
When were you doing that?
And then I put it in my Teddy Ruxpin, because Teddy Ruxpin, you just put a tape in there. And then Teddy Ruxpin was rapping Biz Markie all day.
What's it, Teddy Ruxpin? I don't know what that means. You've lost me.
Teddy Ruxpin was a bear that had a tape in his butt, and the tape had you talk to him. So they already had pre-recorded lines to where you'd be like, "Hey," Teddy Ruxpin would be like, "Hey, how are you?" And then he would be like, "Oh, I don't feel like doing that," like shit like that. And it would just be recorded. But if you put another tape in there, he's rapping. Have you ever met a girl when you tried to date? She wanted you to wait. And people was like, oh my God. Or my CNC. My little nephew, my little cousin CNC, where it just be like, you pull it down and it'd be like, C is for cookie. D is for dog. I would take it right when it goes C, z, 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 and record that.
Are you saying you're doing all of this at like 6 years old?
Yeah, like 6, I was on fire. I was it was music videos, it was Bobby Brown. I would take my jacket off, and just have no shirt under, chubby kid, just still dancing. Dancing is all we had, brother. When you look around, I mean, I don't want to paint no picture that didn't exist. I love painting though, but that's not what I want to do. The Bronx was bad. It wasn't bad every day. But where I was in Bronxdale, there was a lot of zombies, a lot of zombies, a lot. We wasn't scared of Freddy Krueger or Jason. You know what I mean? We had real life zombies outside. So dancing and skate key and, basketball, shit like that just kept our minds off of it.
Honestly, I appreciate you sharing that, Stills. I appreciate it a lot because, people learn from this. And that's why it's super useful. That's why it's called Bridge the Gap, because by going through your life and your experiences, because everybody knows that you're not trying to paint this global picture. You're just sharing your truth and your stories. And maybe if everyone does it now everybody knows. That's what we're doing here. So maybe it's not 100% all the time, but these are real things that you care about. So we care about them.
Yeah. Well, I wish it didn't exist like that. That's why I try to create a new world for my daughter. But it still exists. There's still places where the most famous person that kids have seen was a rapper or the
Right.
most influential in their life. They don't remember anything else. They just remember when Cameron came through the projects and talked or sat down. That's what they remember. And that like that's like that shouldn't exist, you know. And rappers are very, very influential and aspirational, and you want to be like them and stuff like that. But that shouldn't even be an idea that, oh my God, I got to see someone who writes words, you know, and rhymes them, you know. But that's all we have growing and where we from. Like we have nobody as a celebrity, you know. The presidents don't come to the Bronx.
Yo, I appreciate that. So again, thank you because this is useful, like for everybody again. But let's go back to your story a bit. So you're already 6 and you're already lit as fuck. You've already probably accomplished more than some people may already, do for their whole life. Like who
Nah,
you
nah, not at
turn
all. Six.
no, but you turned a teddy bear into an instrument. I mean, like that's
Yeah,
pretty fucking banging if you ask me. All right, I'm saying.
I mean, he was definitely more advanced than me at 6 doing that, and
yeah.
I
I'm
was
like
already
sitting
lit at
there
6.
with
But
like
I
a
wasn't
Super
lit like
Nintendo. Like I'm
putting my raps on a tape and putting it in the Teddy Ruxpin, which, by the way, like a little bit of an exaggeration on the tape in the butt. You know, like you had to like unzip the thing, and then put the
still
tape in the butt.
Yeah, you have to go through a lot.
But
You
still,
know, a
like,
lot.
I'm just saying that that's still very like cool. Actually, we have people commenting, right? Just so you know, there are people live watching. Like somebody was a little jealous that you got to have Slick Rick in your pizza shop. We have the homeboy Cool Man Logan watching, and he's basically like, "That is a crazy childhood." He wants to know what's going on there because you're such an interesting person, and we know that. Like you've had such an interesting
Oh, well,
life.
there's more. Let's keep going.
I'm
But
so
yeah,
excited for it.
so
So I mean, I don't really know how to pace it because your childhood already sounds litter than everybody else's. So what comes after this 6-year-old experiences? Let's move along in your life that you want to share with us.
I think my mom, my dad kind of broke up, but you know, my I had a baby sister, and um, I, I don't know. I don't think. I think. I think when they broke up, crack and drugs was like hitting hard, and you know, at that time we wasn't blaming the medicine, we wasn't blaming drugs, we were blaming the drug user. So we never looked in the middle of it. We're not looking at it like, oh, you're addicted and it's crack's fault. You know what I mean? It was, you chose that. And so like there'll be moments where, I have a name chain necklace or something, or my Nintendo or something, it was there yesterday and then it's gone, you
Mm.
know? And or I had a puppy, beautiful fucking puppy for like 2 days, and then it gets sold. You know what I mean? Or, you know, um, so that happened a lot. There was a lyric where I said, "When you wake up and your games are missing, it's broken. Nobody was even playing with it." She said, "I bought them, so I wish you never gave me shit then." And now my new system is in my mom's system. Like those
Ooh.
moments were like clear for me. Like I remember it for feeling disappointed that my game is gone, and not understanding that you know my dad needed a hit. You know what I mean? He, at that time, at that day, at that moment, he couldn't handle the pressures of life, and he needed to smoke something. You know, and so I didn't understand that then. He didn't need it, of course, but his childhood and everything he went through, it made him feel like he did.
See,
Uh, so yeah. So right after that is 8,
so just
and
so you know, those
I don't know
lyrics,
what's going on.
it's all
Hold
right.
on
But
1 second.
while you figure
Right
that
after
out
that
right
is 8,
quick,
and we get to a place where we move to 161st and Park Ave, and over there where the Yankee Stadium is, and Jeter's not there yet. Um, but it got crazy. And my dad, had an incident with my mom where he's banging on the door, and I'm running, to call the police. I'm only 8. I'm holding my little sister in my hand, and that shit was weird. It was weird to me to see, you know, my hero not be so heroic, or my mom not allowing my hero to speak. I didn't understand why he couldn't just talk and just get out what he was going through. So, you know, basically from there, uh, you know, I kind of gave up on joy, and I just was playing basketball from like 9 to I would say it was 15. And I know there's a distinct date when I stopped playing basketball, because that whole time my dad was so good at it that I was trying to from 9, from that big fight where the cops are called, I was trying to find his approval somewhere, and I didn't know any other place outside of basketball because everyone would compliment him on his game. So I worked really hard to play basketball, really, really hard, and he would never teach me. He would always say, you know, I can't teach you how to take an elbow. You either take an elbow and keep going, or you don't. I don't know how to teach you how to do that. So from 9 to 15, pause. I took a lot of elbows to the face, and worked hard at playing basketball. And did that. There was one fateful day where we were playing 21, and in New York, 21 is you can have 17 people on the court, every man for themselves, up to a game of 21. And he was there. He was playing, and the ball bounced away from out of bounds, and I caught it, and he started guarding me. And all my friends, they all moved out the way, and I beat him. I went hard, and we started playing one-on-one, and we fought. It was really like that movie, He Got Game. That movie makes me cry all the time, but we fought on the court. A lot of my friends was holding us back to make sure we finished the game, and we finished the game. I crossed him something crazy, and I screamed at him. I yelled, you know, and was like, you know, get the fuck off the court. I threw the basketball. All the hard work that I was trying to do to prove to him how I was worthy happened on that day. And the next day, I went to play basketball, and I broke my wrist. And I slipped, and I was wearing a cast that whole summer. And Pun just so happened to blow up that summer in 1998. So I'm 15, Pun's blowing up. And so I'm on music videos with a cast on my arm, and I would be a production assistant on these music videos. So my life changed from 8 to 15. It was all about basketball and trying to get my mind, or trying to get, you know, and school. I actually was able to finish at 15. But when I broke my wrist, that all changed. I never played again the same way, or, you know, I might have played 10 times since then, basketball, you know, since 15, I might have played like 10 or 11 times in my life. So it changed my life. And then I went to working on productions for music videos, and Big Pun, who I lived with, you know, I'm working on his music videos.
Hold on, did you say Big Pun, who I lived with?
You know, after that, I'm a production assistant on like Casey JoJo video.
I see.
Hold on,
videos all throughout
You got it. You're going super fast through this.
The cast on his arm.
Derailing this. Having fun with it. I see you.
Did I fast forward through the years?
Fast forwarded through a bunch of exciting.
That's basically
in a nutshell how it happened. You know, I mean, there was a lot of influence musically, Onyx and Ice Cube and Nas. You know, Nas changed my life. You know, how he wrote. Hove wasn't really an influence as much as Nas was. So, you know, and but yeah, that's just a quick fast forward.
Because we were like trying to say, did you live with Big Pun? Because it seemed like you dropped that, and then you just like were bullying past everything I said, and I'm like, oof, I don't know. And then so yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I couldn't hear nothing. It was on. I guess it was on mute.
Honestly though, that was incredible. That is a great sound bit. Like at the end of the day, it's gonna be fucking great to watch after. So I'm so fucking happy that went down the way that it did. It's a great show so far. Thank you for fucking blessing us with a crazy emotional experience. I'll be back. You are wonderful, and I am loving every second of this. I hope you know that.
Yeah, there it goes.
But
So
I've
I'm so sorry I couldn't hear you guys.
seriously
So
though.
yeah.
But okay, so we gotta pause though, cause you like blitzed, and there's a lot to like go back on. So like basketball,
Okay.
that was incredible. I feel like we captured this
Yeah.
big moment, and we all like grew with you. I swear, I fucking grew with you in that moment. It felt like I was part of a movie. I know you're an actor, so I fucking love the fact that you bring in that kind of beauty to this shit. It's so cool of you. Um, but yo, we gotta like rewind back to the music side too, right? So I got some more questions before we go past to your big pun stuff and all that, right? So are you like actually interested in being in music at all at a young age, or is it just basketball?
Oh wow. Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. That is a big. In the sixth grade, I lied to a girl about my age. I was in the Bronx. The Bronx is so fucked up that they had the sixth grade and the seventh grade class in the same room, learning the same shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so no one asked. I was just tall. So they all assumed I was in the seventh when she was in the seventh. So I lied to her about my age. And she goes, and then I'm talking in the back of the class, right? And and the teacher goes, Mr. Daniels, you're gonna stop talking in my class. And I go, if I stop talking, how are they gonna hear me? And everyone goes, oh, right? And the teacher goes, oh, okay. Oh, you think you're funny? He goes, you know what? We're gonna separate the sixth grade and the seventh grade into two groups. So I was like, no, you know what? I'm good. I'm gonna stop
You
talking.
weren't
Right?
ready.
Nah.
You weren't ready.
He's like, nah. He's like,
That.
nah. And we're gonna do it in alphabetical order. So my name is Albert Daniels, right? I know I'm coming in early, right? So he's like, he calls my man Alan first, right? And I go, oh man. And then he goes, Albert Paris. He goes, Alberto Paris Daniels. And I go, there's no toe, you know, right? I can't even believe he said the middle name. When he said sixth grade, everyone went. So I immediately stood up. As soon as he said it, right? I said, not soon. I gave it a good beat. And I said, oh, you telling me I got left back?
That's amazing. No, for real, that is good.
So he goes,
That's some
what
smooth Bronx
the
shit
fuck is
right
wrong
there.
with you? Like, he doesn't say that, but he's like, what is wrong with this kid, right? So he goes, okay, well, we're going to go get your records from downstairs. Now he's being a dick with me, back and forth, right? And he goes, who can go downstairs to get Alberto's records, right? And he sends, my new wife, Jessica Ann, we called her. We called her Jessica Ann because she would say Ann at the end of every sentence, which would conjunction every fucking sentence. So she'd be like, I'm going downtown, and I'm doing this, and right. So it just so happens that when she does that, he sends her, and he goes, all right, Alberto, you can't participate in this sixth grade, seventh grade challenge because you don't know where you are, right? He says, so here's this paper and here's this pencil, write something. He goes, write a poem, right where you're from, and Jessica Ann came back with the principal because she ran into the principal by mistake. I have no idea why. The principal was showing people around, like trying to get sponsor money or whatever the fuck. And he comes in and tells her to sit down. He goes, Mr. Daniels, we'll get your records at another time. For now, just write what you continue to write. So I wrote a poem called Out the Window. And it was about how I got left back and got punished. And all I could do was look out the window, because I'm punished. And then I said it in the class, and they stood up. They all gave me a standing ovation. And it was just to keep the lie alive, right? And from then, I was known as the poet in the school, and I would just write. I was just writing poetry. And Albert Hernandez hooked me up with my mentor, who is my father these days, Abia Oye Wole from The Last Poets. and
No
he came
shit.
to my school to teach poetry. And from sixth grade up until last week, I've talked to him almost every week. You know what I mean, or if not every other week of my life. He mentored me from there to the point where I was so in tune with words and literature and how to learn that I was able to skip seventh grade.
I'll
So
be
me and Jessica actually was in the eighth grade together. So,
I'll
you know what I
be
mean?
I'll be part of the reason why I wanted you to sit down with Holden is because you have such a rich uh, history, family, um, role models that you had around you from young, that they saw something special in you, and you need to now educate the world, right? Like, let's pretend people don't know who the last poets are, and
Yeah,
let's
the
give
lot.
them a little bit
Mm.
of an education.
Even I'm kind of guilty there because I know who the last poets are, and I missed that one. Good call, Flacco.
Yeah, well, the last poets are essentially the ones who created rap. There were no poets doing poetry over drums. That didn't exist. People would read their poem, they get their glasses and have a stand and recite literature. The last poets are the first poets to do poetry over the drum, and to have Felipe, who was a Puerto Rican man in the group, and never really called him a Puerto Rican poet. He was just a poet.
Right.
And Umar, Abiadun, which is my pops, and Babatunde, which is the drummer, um, and uh, uh, and there were two other members as well, and they were the first poets to do poetry over drums, and they gave us poets like "When the Revolution Comes," which was a really big piece back in those days. When the revolution comes, niggas will be party and bullshit and party and bullshit. Later, that becomes Biggie's first ever single that he put out into the ether of the world. So the last poets were literally our origin. Ironically, they're the last poets and they were the first. But yeah, I was able to be at his house every Sunday. He would cook for all the poets in the community and just taught me how to be a better
Wow.
writer and a better man.
So, yo, you know what's also doubly important about what you're saying there is it shows the power of the other side of the coin. What happens when you choose to take your skills as somebody maybe on the older side of the spectrum and give back to the youth, and to take your time and your talent and to share that knowledge with people, and to make sure that, like, that's the bigger knowledge nugget to me. You benefited from this, but look at your life and look what you gained from the interest of somebody taking and looking for you, and making sure that you got that support that you needed. So thank you so much for sharing that, because I think that is a crazy big one.
Yeah, I think a lot of us, if we close our eyes and really meditate on it, I think a lot of us will see angels that came along in our childhood. It's just maybe we didn't take them seriously or take them on,
Mm, I
you
like how
know?
you said
And
that.
I did. That's all. I just took advantage of the angels that were there for me.
That's a beautiful way to put it. So, during this basketball phase of your life that you blitzed through earlier, are you also doing the rapping thing, the poetry thing? Are you still
Yeah, just the
pursuing?
poetry, just being a poet, but not really telling anybody. It wasn't cool to be a poet. So,
All right.
um, it
So,
wasn't cool.
yeah, I appreciate that too. I feel like poetry still is on its way to coolerness. Like, people don't necessarily reckon it's not like where it's at it should be in terms of cool points. Like, I feel like it's still on its way there. I love poetry. I think it's like an amazing thing. I mean, you look at so many great artists, and they like I don't know how many people have actually looked at Tupac's poetry book, but it's an insanely beautiful piece of words put together. Like, a friend of mine recently released a poetry book, but I don't feel like these things get like the love of most other things from my purview. Maybe my purview is limited, but that's why I expressed the idea. I saw some confusion in
Shouts
your
to
face.
shouts shouts to Dama Nails. Anytime I see her face or if I see something that says Dama, I say shout outs to Dama Nails. No matter where I am, you are so beautiful and so amazing and so rich in talent. I could talk to you for hours. But go
Shouts
ahead,
to
brother. I'm
Dama
sorry.
Nails.
Go ahead. Hold it.
That's the sister to the show. That's
Oh man, she's
family for
everything.
life.
Yeah, she's
That
wonderful.
is that's somebody I'll bleed for. Facts. Shouts to Dama.
Love y'all, man. Love y'all. Love y'all.
1000%. You know what? You know what Dama has that not too many rappers have, let alone female rappers. Which I always thought she could even name her album was Audacity.
I
Like
agree.
she has the
That's
she has
facts.
the fucking audacity to like whatever's in that brain is going to come out. You know what I mean? And I love that she has such a, I don't love that she has a dark past, but she has such a dark past that gives her this edge of I've seen everything. You know what I mean? And she has the audacity to let you know. So really
Facts.
quick break on
Big,
giving
big
her
facts.
flowers because I
Big
love
big
her.
facts.
And in
Big
case
facts.
y'all
She's gonna be
are,
on the show soon.
yeah, I was about to say, like,
We're
yo,
gonna
you're
have her on the
setting
show
us up
soon.
right now. That's some fucking 2 Saturdays from now shit is gonna be Dama, and then her album's also dropping on fucking Valentine's Day, and it's
The single's dropping on
The
Valentine's
single.
singles dropping. My bad. Whatever. The stuff's coming. It's gonna be fuegos. I haven't prepped for that yet. That's prepping. I was busy with Albe Back this week, but yo, straight up, she's incredible. Like when he says Audacity, I'm watching her on the Zoom. She's like, yo, I want to start this thing, and yo, all these other reviewers, they just fucking lie to me. I'm telling you straight up, if it's fucking trash, I'm gonna tell you straight up, it's fucking trash. And like that passion just starts building on the passion that starts building, and I'm like, yo, Dama's the
Nothing
realest
like her.
of it.
Dama,
It's the realest
Dama
shit
keeps it
ever.
a thou. Dama definitely is not like the type of person. And audacity is a great word because you know
Facts.
what she does. Like she's been the type to like stand in the middle of like Nems, Poison Pens, and like these dudes that are like
Me.
giants to men, right? Those dudes are giants to men, and she'll stand right there with them, like, wait, what do you mean? Of course I belong here. I'm supposed to be here.
Oh,
Wait, you know, and that's her energy at all times. Even when we created our doo-wop band, that was her energy. And let me tell you something, flawless doo-wop band, 3-0 record.
Big ups, Dama.
Yo,
Big
big
ups,
ups,
Dama.
Dama.
Big
And let's
ups,
also, while we're on the subject of flowers, shout out Flacco Bayo. He is holding it down every single time.
Shout out to Dutch Vega. He's on my album, man. Rapping on my album.
That's
You
incredible.
know, I don't think there's anybody, I mean, outside of Just James and vice versa. All of EO Dubs are my brothers and sisters, but I have no songs of any of them. Like, you know, and Dutch, I finally got a Dutch Vega joint. He sent me this record, and I was like, oh man, I gotta destroy this. And I sent it back the next day
Very next day.
with a music video attached to
With
it.
with a music video. Yes, you had a music video.
Yeah. But all right, so yeah, let's get back to it.
No,
Let's
man,
get back
thank
to
you
it.
for that. I just had to also just say it. Without Flacco Bayo, we
That's
wouldn't
what
even.
makes Albie so special, man. He always
is.
gives everybody flowers. He's such a beautiful, beautiful person, man. He's not somebody like before it was in style to give flowers. Albie was the type of guy to be walking around New York City giving people flowers.
You know,
And
like
shout out to vice versa.
Anybody that I've talked to that does know you will say the same thing so far. So in my little research, I was like astounded by the love that came. Not astounded, but like, you know, in general, like you can see there's a difference between people who are fans and people who appreciate the sincerity of a soul. And you got a lot more of that second category than the average person would normally get, you know, when I'm looking into it. So that's fucking cool. But yeah, I just wanted to say thanks to Flacco for setting this up and shit, because that also has to be said, because, yo, that's a big thing. And thank you for coming through. But let's go back, because you dropped
Did we wrap up The Last Poets?
Yeah, we just about...
no, there's no wrap up The Last Poets. It's still going. You know, we're about to do a documentary hosted by Dave Chappelle with them in full Pixar cartoon. So all the poets are on stage at once. We're about to do a bunch of shit with The Last Poets. The Last Poets aren't stopping. And when we shoot that movie, there's a trailer. There's a series of trailers that I will be a part of shooting. Common's gonna play Abiadoon. Black Thought's gonna play Umar. It's a movie about sampling and getting sampled. It's a really epic tale. And I will be using my contemporaries. I will be using Dominales. I will be using Ox. I will be using my brothers. I really feel like that about the big screen. People really don't understand it. It really is all opportunity. It really is. I swear to you. If I could tell you anything about the big screen, it really is all opportunity. If you give that woman over there a couple boxes away from me, you give that woman over there, she in Texas, you give her the lights and the camera, you give her a script, and you put her on a show, she's gonna nail it. Because there's so much practice that you get to do as an actor. You get a script, you get to practice in the morning, you get a dress rehearsal, you go back to your trailer, you can practice, you come back on scene, and there's 80 takes that you're gonna do. You put one of us in any of that, we're gonna thrive, Right. And so when I get a chance to really be the placement, I'm gonna put my people in. You know what I mean? So the last sports are not stopping. We're doing a film this year on them and a documentary.
I certainly know that that's not what Flacco meant when he asked that question.
No, I know. Oh,
but
I'm
that
teasing.
was so
course.
fucking incredible. What the fuck,
it's
my guy?
Language.
I love what you just did.
I'll die on that hill. I'll die on that hill every time just to get that information that we just got.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was the most like wow.
Yeah, sure. That's what I meant.
Did you like my on my side is like what the fuck, dude? You just like came. Some guy jumped on the stream as you were saying that too, and I'm like, that's a time to come on the stream. That's a time to fucking show up, right? Like as you're like, thank you for dropping that. That's fucking cool. Yeah. I would personally watch the shit out of that because that sounds like a great experience.
Oh man, it's called party and bullshit. It's really crazy. But yeah, let's keep going.
No, but this is still good, man. Like this is all good. We're all having a good time. So when you said pun, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I can't help it.
Big pun.
You like snuck that in real quick, but like I'm not gonna miss you living with Big Pun. Yep. Living with was the word he chose to use, and I'm pretty sure he's very deliberate with his words. So what is that like? You lived with Big Pun? Is that what you said?
Yeah, man. Yep. He took me in. Like a little rugrat from the streets and just saw something in me that I don't think he saw in anybody else. I got a chance, man. I got a chance to be with him during different moments of anybody else in the world. And tomorrow I'm supposed to be talking about it on Clubhouse. Today is my 21-year anniversary. 21 years ago, I called him and was saying, yo, I'm coming over. You know what I mean? Like, where the fuck are you? You've been gone. Like, he was down south. And he's like, yo, I'm here, but the house is being renovated. We're in the hotel. And he goes, but don't worry, I'll be back later. Like, you know what I mean? And he goes, oh shit, that's dope. I'll be back. That's your name from now on. And then he died the next day. So I've been I'll be back since February 6, 2000. And so, just living with him and being like his little go for, and just, or being in the music videos and taking care of him, or I was able to be around these different moments because I was 15 and everyone around him was either super young or super grown ass man. So he treated everybody different than he treated me. He treated me like a sponge that needed to soak up some game because he felt he was going to pass away. He felt he was going to die. So I was able to just be around like moments where he was frustrated with everyone, I mean, friends get frustrated with each other. So me saying Pun was frustrated with Joe or Cuban or whatever, that's no big thing. We all get frustrated with each other. But I was there because I had to take care of them, you know what I mean? Or hold the clothes or this and that. So I was able to listen to an artist that is on the rise, on fire, and all of his complaints and all of his worries and all that. I was able to soak that up and see that. So he loved me. until that day, until Rap City, and then he just loved me in a different way.
I don't know what that means. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh yeah, Rap City. I don't know if some people know the story or not, but Rap City in the basement. Do you know what Rap City is? Being in Canada.
No, I have like. But let's just go with no. And
All
then
right,
you can explain it.
Rap City was a show that we had after school where they would show music videos. But there was also another element where there were different hosts that will go into the city and interview. Sammy, what's up? That in the interview, I love the way she wears her beanies. It's too much, Sammy. You're a walking emoji. I love it. And so, he goes, Rap City would interview rappers in their city, and they would go to the city and then kind of interview people. And Pun had a pool hall, and in Pun's pool hall, he had a pool hall slash. Can you guys hear me? See me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear us?
He had a pool hall slash arcade that he built for the kids in the community in the Bronx, and it was arcade. He wasn't making much money from it. It was an arcade slash barbershop slash pool hall, and the niggas hung out. It was right down the block from Steppins, and so Rap City came.
Shouts to Parkchester.
Shouts to Parkchester. So Rap City, is everybody following this story? Because it's the most embarrassing story in my life.
No, we're following
No,
it. You're good. You're doing great.
I really don't want to tell that.
But you're doing wonderful. We really appreciate you.
Yeah. So then I'm there. I'm cleaning up. I was cleaning the basement and like clean the hair and shit like that. And so then Pun calls me over. He goes, "Yo, stupid, come here." Right. And so I was walking over to him, and I could see it for the first time. A big camera. You know what I mean? Like this is not the camera we got on the block. You know what I mean? And I'm walking toward it. Like this, I know it. I could feel it. This is the first time I'm gonna be on TV. And I've never felt that I wasn't going to be on TV. You know what I mean? So me walking to it is like, I'm soaking it in. This is the first time. This is it. Just walking. And then every step I'm saying, just be honest. Right? just be honest. That's all you gotta do is be honest.
You were telling yourself to be real. Keep it real. You were like,
keep it real.
Keep it real, bro. Keep it real.
That's what
you don't
it is.
do nothing else right now. Keep it real. This is your moment.
So then Joe Clear goes, "Yo, what's your name?" And I go, "Kidnapper." Right? Because Pun used to call me Kidnapper. That was my rap name. And then he goes, "Who's your favorite rapper?" And I'm telling you, as clear as I'm standing here, I don't even think he finished the word R at the end of rapper. I don't think he breathed at all. I didn't breathe. When I immediately said, "Nas." Nas. Nas is the, Nas. Like this, like not Nas. No. Nas. I mean, did you hear what he said when he said, "I peep you frontin', I was in the Jeep, sunk in the seat, tinted with heat, beats bumping"? And everybody looked at me like, "You fucking idiot. Why the fuck would you say Nas? The cameras are here for Pun. Do you have anything nice to say about Pun?" I was such a fan of Nas, bro. I had to keep it 1,000, bro. And so there was moments like that, and then he later that night wrote "Brave in the Heart," which is one of those records where he kind of takes a jab and a shot at Nas. And I'm watching him write it, right? And he goes, "Brave in the heart, playing the part, futuristic rap, state of the art, taking these young cats past the start. First it was Nasty Nas, now watch me turn this apple into Macintosh." And I yelled like, "No, what are you doing?" Because I know if Nas was to ever battle Pun, it would have happened good for Nas. Pun wanted to be Nas so bad. He wanted to be the thug poet, the street poet so bad that he was ready for all the smoke. And here's his little cousin, you know, giving Nas his flowers on, you know, on his camera time. He took that mad personally. So I was able to be around stories like that. That's how embedded I was. And I used to be the first one on stage. Like when they come, like when they're about to go on stage, and before you hear doom 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 doom, I would run on stage with Big Pun Platinum t-shirts. So when people saw me, they saw the t-shirt, but they cheered for me. And he saw what that did to me, you know, and he let me go.
To be fair, they had every right to be really upset at you.
Every right.
Every right. And
my life changes if I don't do some stupid shit like that. Do you know that, right? If he doesn't do that, if I don't do that, if I don't say Nas, and I don't get there's not that awkward silence, it never gets cut. So we get to see it right now, where I go Pun, and then Pun goes dead in the middle of little did we know to be riddle the middle man. We would do that together, right there, because that's what we used to do. But I was just too much of a fan, bro. I just Nas was everything.
Yo, that was an incredible story. I'll be back, and I'm so grateful that you chose to share it in this moment, because it was both entertaining but a powerful educational lesson. Because I'm about those knowledge nuggets, so I know you teaching us, and I felt that teacher moment. The big teaching moment is understand. It's actually the first law of power or whatever. You know, never outshine the master. So in that moment, you effectively outshined the master, because you put somebody else on a pedestal in a moment where you're supposed to put the man's up, and you just, in a very entertaining anecdote, that like, how'd you rap like 3 times? Like, that was fucking fire. That is like, you were like designing a YouTube clip almost. It was fucking so cool to watch your brain work as you put that story together in real time and like just fucking make it happen like that. That is impressive. Like, you are an amazing guy. I love the fact that you're like doing this moving, like fucking like repositioning the camera every single time. Like, it is awesome. You're an entertaining and great guest.
Hey man, that was the first episode. That was the first episode of When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong. That was the first.
Big facts.
Yo, Dama, I know Dama's like, it didn't end there. I know you guys like it didn't end there, because it did. The motherfucker, he convinced me to box. You know, there was gloves in there and stuff like that. So he goes, right after that, like a couple hours after that, he goes, stupid. Fight this dude. You know what I mean? Like, you know, throw the hands. And I'm like, nah, you know, big softy, right? And he goes, no, do it. You're not gonna just be kicking it with us and you can't fight. You know what I mean? And he's like, plus he's mad small. Like, Pun was able to talk your socks off without removing your shoes. You know what I mean? He could talk you into anything, bro. You know what I mean? So he made me believe that I could beat this guy up. This guy, yo, skinnier and smaller than Flacco. He was Flacco's Flacco.
That's funny.
But his resume read Golden Gloves, fucking WB something, right? He was a real boxer. Yo, I never in my life went to sleep where it wasn't my idea. You understand what I'm saying? The nigga went do, and I went shaboom, and I went night. I woke up, and niggas was just laughing. I woke up from niggas laughing like, yo, you up? Yo, wake up. Y'all woke up to them dying. He hit me with the boom, 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 real quick. And I just remember going black. I remember it like the end of a movie, you know?
Damn.
And then real. Right after that, we went to the studio and I heard Brave in the Heart. So that whole day was a doozy for me. I didn't get to be on TV. I got punched. I got knocked out. And then Big Pun took a shot at my favorite rapper.
That's one of the great
fucked up days of my life.
Well, that's one of the
great fucked up days.
You know, if you didn't do what you did, though, you know, also, you know, we wouldn't have gotten that close to having the war And that's all that we used to want back then. Was you used to want to, when you were a kid, right? You used to play with your GI Joes, and what would you do? You'd put like your GI Joe up against your other GI Joe, right? And they'd have to fight. All right, your favorite GI Joes, they gotta fight. That's the way that we are. That's the way that men
true.
are trained to be.
No,
These are my favorite things. Now my favorite things have to fight to the death.
I'm not gonna lie, like as a
and
Wow.
essentially,
no, but
essentially, you like push the right button to get Pun to be like, word, I turn this apple to
Tell
a
you another
Macintosh.
story. He kept that same energy. John Blaze. Remember, if I don't know how many of you guys remember John Blaze with Pun and Nas, Jadakiss,
Raekwon.
Raekwon, and Fat Joe.
I don't remember any of this.
This is a record. Fat Joe's album is called John Blaze, and it has Nas and Pun
Don
on
Cartagena is the Fat Joe album, and it's John Blaze.
Okay.
And John and Nas wrote his verse, sent it in, heard the rest of the song, heard Pun's verse, and decided to change his verse. Said, nah, don't put that out yet. Let me redo it. And that was Pun's championship ring. If anybody wants to know if Pun ever got a chance to feel like he was a winner, because he died so early in the game that he didn't really get a chance. That was it right there. That was the first time that Pun felt he was the greatest of all time. That was the first time where Nas sent in another verse. He used to go tell Joe, he sent in another verse because he heard the rest of the song crack. That's why. He heard, even if I stuttered, I would still shit on you. That's why I'm the greatest ever. And that was that day. Wow. I seen that switch from there to you couldn't tell him nothing.
My guy, that is incredible.
Nas
was able to beat Nas in his small way, and still very devastating for me. I was on that video shoot. I was there. Everybody was there. Big L, everybody was there. So I was just a little kid. I watched one of the biggest ciphers of all time. Big L, Drag, Kiss, Styles, Joe, Pun, Cuban, Big Daddy Kane, G-Rap, Nas, Nori, they all were ciphering. It was Joe's birthday, and Joe asked for it, and everybody spit. And if you were there, you were there. I saw the whole thing. I was, Pun had a blue fatigue suit on. I used to drive the 600 Benz. I was only 15. I used to drive his Benz. Yeah, it was an exciting time.
You drove his Benz.
Yeah. I used to park it across. I remember the first time I drove it. I was asking to ride the scooter, and I was like, "Yo, let me ride the scooter just around the block, my nigga." And he tossed me the Benz keys, and he said, "Park that first." And he said, "If you fuck this shit up, you're gonna get hurt." And I ain't drove yet, but the Benz was so easy to drive. I understood it because I had Need for Speed, and I had the actual steering wheel for the video game, so I understood the left and the right and the gas situation. So I was able to park his car.
Real quick, bro.
Did you hold on? So, I gotta. Yeah. He just said that he learned to park the car off of Need for Speed's parents. Video games are wonderful because I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Need for Speed helped me get my driver's license, so I'm gonna say that's a shared experience. It really did. That specific series, because it was kind of realistic enough to give you a sense of how, and we all had those like shits, the wheels and whatnot. We got the sense of how it all worked. Wow. First of all, thank you. We're getting some fucking love in the comments for real. But yo, I hate to do this. Is it all right if I just go run and take a quick washroom break, and then if you can just hold it down, Flacco, because I want to give you my full undivided attention.
No, because he said, go ahead, Holden, I got you back. You said something, Albe, that like I think you kind of glossed over. So you said that for Big Pun's birthday, they were shooting the video for John Blaze, and the cipher was It was everybody who was on
Fat
the
Joe's
song.
birthday.
Fat Joe's birthday was when they filmed the John Blaze video.
Yeah.
And at that video shoot, you had all the people on the song, right? So Fat Joe, Big Pun, Raekwon, Nas, Jadakiss.
They all spit. They all spit in the cypher.
But then on top of that, you had Drag On, you had
Mac 10,
you had Nori, you had
Big L, Ghostface,
Styles P.
Styles P was there, Ghost was there.
what is that footage? What?
Yeah, Mike Geronimo. It was packed. It was in Brooklyn. It was Joe's birthday. I remember I stepped on his Timbs and had a big black scuffle, just fresh out the box Timbs.
Oh my God.
And, yeah, like that. Big Daddy Kane also was spitting. G-Rap was there. Lord Finesse was there. It was a big cipher. It was one big cipher. It was a circle. It was such a big cipher that they kind of had to project and yell their verses.
That's crazy.
It was literally that. He literally said for my birthday, he was talking about he had like a hip hop meeting. And he's like, yo, you know, this and that and this and that. Joe was being the Dom. And in the middle of that, he said, yo, please, my birthday, I want all you to spit. And then everyone spit. And I was sitting there just watching. I was right next to Big L the whole time.
You were right next to Big L the whole time that he drops like the super knowledge nugget at the end right there. Like, not only was it all of this incredible epicness, but on top of that, once again, I'm being a knucklehead and I'm not standing next to Pun. I'm standing next to Big L.
Yeah, I'll see Pun when we get home. So I didn't look at it. Yo, one time we got home, it was a Triz music video, and I drank. I was drinking shots with him on the way, so I was drunk as fuck at 16. You remember, bet your man can't do it like that, can't work the middle, cause it's thing too little. That video. So we're on our way there, and I'm drunk as fuck, right? So I sleep during the video. I throw up. I don't even know what this feeling is. It's a fucked up feeling. I never felt this before. So I'm throwing up and I sleep throughout the video. So therefore, at 12 o'clock at midnight, I'm up, right? But they're just getting started. It's a music video. These niggas are gonna finish at 5 a.m. So I'm up. So I stood instead of going home because I had school in the morning. But I was graduating early. So senior year, I only had like a class or two, right? I had to go to homeroom. I take Pun home. I'm the only one with him, right? So I had to grab the jewelry, the this, the that, right? And so he's sleeping in the thing, and I put the chain on. I'm in the mirror. I'm rapping in the limo. It's like a limo bus, and I'm rapping in the mirror, and I'm looking at myself, and I'm saying, "This is you. You got this. This is your life now." Like, you know what I mean? And I walk him into the house. It's like 5:36. The sun is rising. And I said, oh, shit, I got to go to school. And he's like, just take the limo.
What? Big Pun.
Baller. What?
No. I'm rushing. So I forgot that I still had his chain on.
Oh,
nigga,
shit.
I went to school with the Jesus piece and the limo, blood. It's too much. That was too much, bro. That was it. That was the day.
That's another level of epic.
Yo, that changed my life forever with women. Who
did you, real quick, you know what? A question to add, right, to this situation. Who did you, right? You were in high school, I would imagine. Who did you go to school with? What high school did you go to?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I went to Kennedy. I went to John F. Kennedy High School. There was nobody else rocking except me. I mean, there was this kid named Newton. There was J.C. Mathis who played ball. He wound up playing. But Kennedy, Washington Heights, it was a Washington Heights zone school. So Kennedy was 60% Dominican.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just mad that they had their own floor. So
Yeah, no, I mean that would be like Manny Ramirez went to what was it? George Washington, I think.
right.
My school had a rivalry with that school with the baseball teams, and
Yeah.
so yeah, if it
Nah,
was
so
mostly Dominicans, you would probably have a
mostly
lot of
Dominican.
athletes, a lot of
So
baseball players.
I was at home. They puns my cousin. You're done. Nobody's fucking with
Nobody's
me.
beating that. Nobody's beating
Yeah, I
that. You
used
were
to
the
have five,
man.
6
You were the
leathers.
man at school.
No, for that year. The year before I wasn't. I was a junior and I was 14. And there was nobody was fucking with me.
But then you
You see what
became
I'm saying?
15.
So it's like when I turned 15, there was a note that was passed, don't take the 15-year-old to the prom. I know, fucking fuck faces. And so that day when Pun allowed me to bring the fucking, well, he didn't allow, yeah, look at the phone fell when I said that. He didn't allow me when I accidentally took the chain to school. That's when I saw women change, girls. I saw girls look at me different. And that changed my perspective on women.
That changed your perspective on life.
On,
you understood. You understood in that moment. You understood the great factor of life, which is, like women, fam. This is the most important thing right here.
Right.
Women. Impressing these people is way more important than impressing my guys. Love my guys.
Yeah, no, I was never about my guys anyway, but my thing is like, it hurt me, bro. It hurt me. It was like, oh shit, you don't give a fuck. You don't care. You gotta understand, from 1 to 15, I thought everything I did was gold. And then you turn 15 and somebody looks at your gold and it's not your gold. And they're looking at gold and they're looking at the gold. They're not looking at you. They're looking past you. And that shit hurt like hell.
Serious
I felt invincible. And then I felt invisible. So with that, I stood close to Pun and stood close to the church. And I would just go to church and it was like, I was like an uber Christian. Like I was a youth pastor at 16. Because I literally was like, there's something deeper other than the surface shit. There is something deeper. So started studying Christianity hardcore, and then Pun dies, and tomorrow's the anniversary of 21 years of it, and changed my life forever. People look at my career and stuff a certain way, but if you look at my career and then you add Pun still alive, I think my career is a little different. So
I mean, I don't have
I've been working hard since he's been gone to keep his name alive and keep his name fresh, and telling you guys stories that show how smart or funny or insightful he was, because apparently there was a lot of fighting after he passed, back and forth with shit, and everyone's story got convoluted. So even Joe's story, no disrespect at all, respectfully, we want to hear Joe say stories about Pun, and then you can feel that the interviewer just wants to ask him about Liza too or something, or you want to hear stories about Pun from Liza, and then you just see that the interviewer wants to ask a question about Joe, and so there's this element, even with Cuban or Sace, there's this element of everyone talking about Pun from a different aspect than where I was talking, because I was the only 15-year-old around.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I mean, I look at it like Pun is such a fascinating person in hip hop. We do album reviews, so did that for a long time. We have a show called The Classic Quest, where basically we dig through the crates and we look for albums. We go through them track by track. My girlfriend, your lady friend Bonnie, who's on the Zoom, and myself do this, and we did the first Pun album. And I can tell you, it is one of the only album reviews I do that to this day will still get like views trickling in. I'm not very popular there, I'm not gonna lie, but it still gets love, and it got a lot of comments. And I can tell you one thing, Big Pun, at least from where I come from and my timeline, that guy's just a legend. I'm not, like, honestly, No disrespect at all, cause I don't want that, but most of us don't know that. We don't really care as much about Fat Joe or anything else. We just care about Pun, cause Pun is the
Yeah,
sickest.
but to correct that, you don't hear Pun without Joe.
That's true.
And I don't care what anybody says. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with lyricism.
Mm.
It has nothing to do with songwriting. It has to do with the structure that Joe had already placed.
But
There was a structure there. You can't get into anything without the structure being there, or else you're gonna have to pave the
You know
way
what?
for a new structure.
but that's
So
Name drop time. Name
because
drop time. You know what that is? Pun got to have the privilege of having Fat Joe there to bridge the gap of
mm,
the lack of knowledge that Pun had walking into the industry. Joe had that in spades at that point by the time he got Pun.
right.
So he
yeah,
bridged that gap for him, and
Okay.
he provided Pun something that like other people didn't have, which
And
is like a true brother and mentor at the
and
same
I
time.
just want to say
and
that we do fuck with Fat Joe too. Like we do.
no, I
I'm just
know, no,
saying
I'm not saying that.
like as a youth growing up and stuff. Cause honestly, we found DITC. We went down that whole rabbit hole of discovering how like all that
Yeah,
sounded. So like we do want to give him his flowers as well. I just
Joe's
meant
amazing.
big facts, and he's still in it
Joe's
today.
amazing.
And not many people are in it for that many decades, and that's just always worth mentioning.
No, yeah, Joe's amazing. His last record is the best record of this year so far. Uh, Joe. All right, I'll put it like Bow Wow,
Mm,
like Little Bow Wow. Little Bow Wow is a legend to some people,
right.
and when you talk to them about why he's a legend, you say, "Well, there was nobody like that. 6 years old, right? That was rapping and was out there. There was. It's just that nobody wanted to put out a 6 year old. Like, who wants to do that marathon with a fucking 6 year old trying to be a rapper and this and that? Nobody wants to do that kind of marathon. No one wants to do it. Like, it's not that it was not doable, but the one person that wanted to do it, Jermaine Dupri, had did it already with Chris Cross.
Right.
So you every time you see something, you see the product at the end of it. But without Joe, I don't know if a white man or a black man allows Pun to be Pun. So are you going to get Pun? You might not. But you have to have somebody who took the arrows first. And that was Joe. Joe had already took the arrows to the dome so that Pun and shielded Pun and now allowed that introduction to be that much smoother.
Yeah.
Even though Pun, and then a lot of you guys don't even know. You hear the name Big Pun now, and you go, man, he's a legend. He was being loved, but no, dumb niggas was fucking DJs up. Play my shit. Stop playing, nigga. Get the fuck out of here, or else you gotta eventually walk to your car. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna play my shit tonight. They went hard for Pun. We all did. We all was putting stickers, those Terror Squad stickers everywhere. It just was everywhere. It was yellow and black, and they were everywhere. We
You know
made
what?
Giuliani change the laws about stickers.
I can testify to this. Having a background, my first job, I spoke with Holden about this in my interview with him, where like I like was putting him on to the fact that street teams and what street teaming was. And I can tell you from like the street
We
team
fought
that I
hard.
was a part of, there were two street teams in New York City that were kind of like feared and revered. And that was Puff's Bad Boy street team
Yes.
and then Big Pun's and Nori. Like they it seemed like Nori used the same people because the stickers were all over. Those Nori smiley face stickers with the blood in the mouth were all over the Bronx.
Yes.
And Big Pun and Terror Squad, all their stickers were all over New York City. They were flooding it. They were just I don't think that it was necessarily a street team as much as like it was like a street army. they had an army, unlike everyone else.
So
Like they had an army in Queens, an army in the Bronx, an army in Brooklyn. Like they had an army everywhere, like promoting their shit.
Yes.
are you saying this like prior to Terror Squad, this was not as big of a thing? I don't really know a lot about sticker marketing.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, because Giuliani changed the law. Like, it literally was, every time you saw today, 2001, you can find a Terror Squad sticker that can't come out. It's just like ripped. Like the glue was too much, but we were sticking it everywhere, bro. Like, disrespectfully. Like, it was in places that no one could rip it off.
There's still stickers all
are you
over
guys-
New York City, and they
Big
use
Zoo-
the glue that is impossible to remove. Like you have to buff with a machine to get those stickers out. The adhesive was so strong.
Are you guys okay with
And,
Big
yeah.
Zoo expanding on
Zoo,
this subject
absolutely.
for a
Yeah, no,
little
I
bit?
saw. I
Because
was gonna give Zoo the floor as soon as I was done.
perfect.
Yeah.
Peace, brothers. I was definitely listening, Albe. I'm learning tonight. Glad that you're here to share, bro. But I just wanted to co-sign. I'm sitting here with my wife, and as y'all talking about the street teams, I'm talking to her on the side, like, yo, that era was thorough for me as well. And Terror Squad was the illest. This is a story I've told many times, but I often give it to Joe. Like I give Joe the props on this. We're downtown on Houston, and they're putting up the big Terror Squad posters, right? And we're closer to like where Burkina was, this mixtape store, and they're a little bit further towards the east, going towards the highway, right? So at the time, I'm with a bunch of brothers, and they're like, yo, they're giving out pun posters, they're giving out pun stickers, like, right? And some brothers run over there to get some of the stuff. And what was interesting was there was a fleet of those, like, those gypsy cabs from the BX. You know what I'm saying? There were 4 of them, all black gypsy cabs from the BX. And when they pulled up, a bunch of black and young Puerto Rican dudes pulled up and just attacked the spot with all the promo merch, right? And when they came back with the pun posters, I was like, oh, that's dope. I was like, yo, Pun got these, you know, because Joe was really behind Pun, as Albe was saying. And I was like, wow, Joe really got these niggas out here going team crazy. Like, they really wilding. Joe really pushing them. They was like, no, that is Joe. Joe was over there with them. Like, Joe hopped out one of the whips too and told them. They literally rented 4 of those livery cab joints from the BX and was taking a tour through all the boroughs and bodying the street team game. I mean, I don't know what they spent on it, but at that era, I mean, now, you know, we posting stuff on IG, but when Albe started talking about them stickers that would not come down, that's a fact. I don't know. They didn't use the regular wheat paste shit. You could probably go to Houston right now on them blocks and see that same shit.
So yeah, it's a yellow and black sticker.
That's exactly what it was.
And you know, he would buy us so much food. We would eat so much, you know, and that was one of the things. He was like, here's a fucking 200 fucking stickers. And we would just go in. Let me see if I could hold on my camera. How do you change the? There you go.
Oh fuck! Wow, what a treasure! Holy shit, that's so fucking cool.
All right, I'll narrate what you're seeing right there. That that besides the record, the platinum record, that map right there is a map of the bus lines in the Bronx. That's a bus line map. I have the same exact map in my crib because all New Yorkers want to keep a track of what bus they're gonna.
But really quick, telling big pun stories. There's a bunch of big pun stories that I don't think people know. Once again, I was very selfish going to EOW. You know, I was about me and not about pun. And so, like, but no one knew. So I wasn't like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. But I always wanted you guys to ask questions, or because he's not here. You know what I mean? But I'll say one story really quick. So I'm 15. We're actually still in chronological order, right? So I'm 15, 16, and Pun didn't want to finish Capital Punishment until Black Thought Versus was finished. So Pun was a humongous Black Thought fan. Like, before we knew what Black Thought was, like, we really didn't. And the name, to me, growing up, I was like, this is such a fucking illest. This is one of the illest rap names ever. Like, Black Thought, right? So I used to be like, yo, Pun, Black Thought's on the phone. So I would bring the phone to him, right? They talked on the phone, but they never met each other in real life. They never saw you. So Super Lyrical is a song that was done in that time back and forth, which is very difficult. They recorded different, right? So Pun finally gets a chance. He's finally gonna get a chance to meet Black Thought, and I'm supposed to. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you guys hear me?
I'm
supposed to go to D&D and meet him there. And Pun at the time got arrested at the tunnel. And Pun was supposed to go on to Black Thought's album because Black Thought was on his album. They were trading on features. And he was excited. But he winds up getting arrested in front of the tunnel and never calls, because we didn't have cell phones like that. It wasn't like, yo, call Black Thought, call Tariq and tell him, it wasn't that. So Tariq just thought, and this is later Reek tells me this whole story. Tariq just thought that Pun stood him up. But he's smoking, the session is played for. So he calls his brother down in Philly and goes, yo, bring up the young bull that has that verse. We had a group before, bring him up and so he could fill in for Pun. And then the dude was like, yeah, cool, because I got these shorties that are gonna dance or whatever in Brooklyn. So I'll drive up there. So the shorties and the young bull with the verse drive up to Philly because Pun got arrested at the tunnel. And so when I got there, I didn't know what happened. So then I just left. Later, we come to find out that the girls couldn't dance in Brooklyn because they were too young. So they wound up coming to the studio. The young bull was Beanie Siegel. And because Pun got arrested, Beanie Siegel was able to be on Adrenaline, which was one of his first recordings. And then after the young bull finished that verse, since the girl was too late, or she was too young to dance or whatever they were going to do in Brooklyn, that later becomes Eve.
What? Do you know I'm talking about an Eve album tomorrow on my stream? That is fucking crazy connections.
Yo, does Beanie Siegel and Eve happen if Pun doesn't get arrested at the tunnel?
What?
Dope story.
I am so grateful you are here talking about all of this. I'll be back. You are a fucking plethora of knowledge and information.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. I wish you guys understood how it would go from 0 to 1,000 like that. Like, it'd be like moments where I was able to see that shit and just be around that shit like, oh shit. And then Thought told me all this. And later me and Thought become best friends. Like, I call him every day. I got albums. Yo, Zoo, if you're listening to me, Zoo, if you ever want to have a Black Thought night where me and you drink Hennessy and just listen to some shit no one's gonna hear till 2022, you let me know.
Wow.
Yo, don't tease me, yo. Don't play around like that. Don't.
Yeah. Thought is not only a genius, he's a hub for so many great talents. So many talented people came through the Roots and stuff like that. And Pun was one of them, man. Pun really wanted to be a Root. He really fucked with the Roots, me. Like, real shit. Like, people would never really know how much he was obsessed with Black Thought.
I'm just like, wow, because like when we were researching you, we were like, before you come on, we were playing your stuff. All of a sudden, I'm on your YouTube channel, and you're just there with Black Thought, and it was like you jumping around on stage with Black Thought. And I'm just sitting there, I'm gonna fucking talk to this
I used to
guy.
have to. I still have to learn his verses, like just in case he goes on a solo thing where it's not the band. then I'll do his ad-libs, and this shit is hard as fuck. I'm actually in a play called Black No More, which is a play Black Thought wrote with the guy that wrote 12 Years a Slave. It's a Broadway play. And before COVID, I was a part of the cast as Agamemnon.
I know who Agamemnon is in history, but I don't know who he is in your play, in the play. Sorry. This is so cool, dude.
Yeah, Agamemnon in our play, Mos Def plays the doctor that invents a machine.
It's Mos Def, right? Like,
he invents this machine that changes black people white, and and then white people, and then when the lead goes for it because he wants to get out of being treated like a nigga, he wants to be turned white and go to Atlanta to find his love. He realizes white people don't like white people either. You know what I mean? And he also realizes, then he goes to Atlanta. He's black, but they could only see white. So then he stumbles upon a pastor who says, "Wow, you know a lot about niggas." You know what I mean? Not knowing that he was one, right? And then he goes, "I want you to speak in my church," which unfolds, and he later becomes the head Klansman. So you got this black man who is now the head Klansman because he could only, everyone could only see him as white. And I play Agamemnon, who stays in New York and reaches the brothers and sisters who didn't want to change and who want to stay the same. So, I was able to do that. Flying through, I know you guys got to go eventually.
No, we don't gotta go eventually. You might have to go eventually, which is totally cool.
We're here.
This is what I do, my guy. I can sit
here
as
long
hours.
as you're willing to talk, we're gonna be sitting here and listening.
Like that's how long.
So,
I
was about to cut you off to say like you're talking about acting and like we didn't even get into how you began acting.
That's true.
Like and the knowledge the wealth of knowledge that's in there. That's just like you
just gotta also understand. I'll be back. I'm very comfortable going 4 hours, as people like have seen me do multiple times. Maybe not as always on the Saturdays, but however long you want to go for, I am here. Is that a pun, weed tray? That's fucking nice. That's fucking cool.
I got so much memorabilia and stuff. All right, so all right, cool. We're here. Let me put this on the charger.
That's amazing. You're an amazing guest. You're amazing.
So acting really quick is people talk to me about it all the time. I really feel like I said about Dama, like I know about Vice, like I know about Just James Figueroa. If you put those people in a position, they're gonna thrive, and a lot of us are not thriving just because of the position that we didn't get a chance to. So I was able, Chris Robinson, who directed all the Puns videos, was doing a movie called Jelly Beans, which later becomes ATL. And so he saw me on Def Poetry. I invited him to my Def Poetry performance, and then he said, "Yo, you'd be perfect."
Can we pause?
To
what's
Def for this
Poetry?
movie? Def Poetry at HBO. Russell Simmons' Def Poetry Jam. I was able to invite him to that.
Okay.
And I did a poem called Super Negro. If you look on HBO, if you look on YouTube, you see I have a Pun shirt on. And that was 2004, and I was in EO Dub at 2004.
It's very possible. Like years, right? Like Zoo is here, so he can confirm. Like the Dub they turned 20 years old last year, so they were already around in 2000. So in 2004.
No, this wasn't 2000. This was 2000. No, this was ATL. So when I get the part, this is 2005. 2004.
Right.
So I believe I was in the EO Dub because So I came to EO Dub a week before we had a show. I was in a group called Fort Apache with Axel Leon, Gangsta, Guy Fisher, Guns, Fred the Godson. It's just a clique in New York, in the Bronx, called Fort Apache. And Axel had a show at EOW the following week the week that I visited. He had a show where he did the 100 to 1 backwards at EOW. So whenever that show was, I've been an EOW dubber since then. And then from there, I was able to go and audition to be in the movie. I went to Atlanta after doing poetry on the train to get some money, and New York paid for my flight. I did poetry for 2 days and worked my ass off on the 4 train spitting poems, and they gave me enough money in 2 days to fly to Atlanta to audition. And so when I went to audition, the casting director never had the same sides as me. The sides are a part of a script. So it's just like a scene that's going to show an A and B of that character. So they didn't have the same sides I had because she had just came in, world famous casting director, Kim Harding. And she looked at me and she asked me, do you know a poem or like a rap? And I said, yeah, I think I got a poem. And I did a poem, and the rest is history. You know, it's on the wall now. And we did part 2, and we're doing part 2, and you know, and there's just it never stopped. You know, it's a classic film. I hope I added love and who I was to it. I hope people
honestly
really felt
so
love.
Here's the thing. I'd never seen this movie prior to yesterday because there was no way I could come talk to you. Well, I mean, you got to keep in mind, I'm a white dude in Montreal, and prior to YouTube, like, I'm 33, so I'm not, like, you know, exactly young enough to have grown up with easy
Also,
access.
let's be fair. Let's be honest, Holden. I've gotten to know you
Hold on, I
well
just gotta
enough.
interject. Shout out for this sub because that's like people giving money for real.
Yes.
So thank you for real. Evalion Fangirl 31. Thank you so much.
Eva Leon, Fangirl 31. Shouts to you. Thank you so much, for real. But Holden, I've gotten to know you, and like you're not much of a movie or
Not
show guy.
in
Period.
the lead.
You're a
No.
book reader.
No,
You
I like
rather
shows.
read
I love
books.
TV. I love television shows. I like to find a show, watch all 8 seasons of it, every fucking episode in order. But I'm not the biggest movie person, no. But I watched ATL last night because there was no way I'm coming to talk to Mr. Albe Back and not watching this classic movie. It was, okay, so Flacco gives me like these fucking you better watch this shit beforehand or I'll smack you kind of speeches. And I take them very seriously, right? Because he's trying to
Great
make sure.
exaggeration. Great exaggeration. I've never threatened bodily
Not
harm.
one time, but I interpret like subtext, you know? I just, subtext exists in life. Now, you know, he's the courteousest guy ever, but like I'm basically getting told, don't embarrass me here, go do your basics, you know? So we watched this movie and I loved your character. And I loved the character because I felt like there was like a double entendre to the character in the movie. Like, you're the guy from New York and ATL, and all you did was drop these great, like, New York style references and bars. Your smile was so lit. You just brought this positive energy. And keep in mind, I just watched this yesterday. And so, granted, I'm looking for you in the movie, maybe
Wow.
a little bit, but, like, I thought that the passion, my girlfriend, and she's right over there, so she can nod her head or whatever. We're watching, and the first thing she says is, yo, I love his voice. It's just so pleasing to listen to. Very first thing that she says when she hears you start doing is that early restaurant scene or whatever. I don't remember exactly the plot. I watched it one time. I'm sorry. But this is ATL, is the one that we're talking about. It came out in 2006. It is a coming of age story, I believe, is a good way to put it. I have a question. Is roller skating actually that lit in ATL? Like, I don't know. Like, I was like, is that actually that? Like, is it like that? Like, or
Yeah.
is like T.I. exaggerating?
Yes.
And
Roller
North
skating-
Carolina too, I think.
Can-
And
you
Virginia.
know, Albie, why don't you just like emphasize on like how big roller skating is in our culture, period.
Yeah, because
Yeah, my dad.
Because
My
we
dad.
got the skate key in the Bronx.
Yeah, my dad built the skate key in the Bronx, the one that's now the Cablevision. Before it was that, it was my dad and a few friends that built the floor and built it. And he was the guard manager, so he would, you know, when somebody would fall, he was skating so well that he would pick them up and still be skating. And my mom bumped into him on purpose. Like she didn't know how to fall, and she fell on him, and then 9 months later, here I am. That's how it happened. And so skate key was roller skating
I
because
did
it
not
has
know
a
that.
rhythm. And so with rhythmic people, so if you could really get on some skates and get into your pocket, it became really big. And it was the only outing for teenagers as well. So, that's why it was that big. If you look at it,
So
there's no other club like the skating ring or a bowling alley.
so
I was about to.
I can't say I don't fully empathize because there's this thing that was in Laval, which is just above Montreal, called La Recreatech. And it doesn't exist anymore today, unfortunately. But we all ended up there at some point, and it really is exactly like that, like the fucking lights and the roller skate. So I've done it, and then girls are there, so it totally makes sense why boys want to be there. Because I've learned something in my life doing this conversational thing. If girls are there, boys will be there. And
I'm gonna tell you right now. The Sammys of the world, if you pretty beautiful women, all when y'all were in your teens was like, I'm going to the library to get a man. Man, we would have all been reading. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas would have been like, yeah, I finished War and
To be
Peace
fair,
yesterday.
I met girls at the library, and that's why I kept on going to the library. Was
Right.
because there were girls at the library, and I was into smart girls. So
I take it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I'm
great
correct.
facts. No, I appreciate
All right,
this for real.
So we're at where we at? We at
You're like
motherfucking
you're like not even 18.
ATL.
I don't. Yeah, ATL. How old are you when ATL happens? Because I don't even know how.
21.
All right, but let's say
21.
before ATL happens, because you were like 16, 17, 18, and now all of a sudden you're 21. And I don't know what else happened in the middle of that. That might be worth before we jump into the
Nothing
ATL.
much. Pun dies, so it's pretty dark.
Right.
Graduate college. And
Wait, where'd you go to
I
college?
become
and
a
study?
mentor.
You went to college?
Film. Yeah.
That's cool.
And I became I have my
Where'd
film
you go?
degree. And what happened with Pun, there was a void, so I was teaching poetry, mentoring. So there was an organization called Urban Word that I was a coach, and we went to the nationals, and the kids, all won that nationals. My man Skrill, Aja Monet, Erica. This is just a bunch of us. We went to the championship. We won, just being young and a writer, and then hanging around Mos Def. And Mos Def was able to just take me everywhere he went. Like he would go to these shows, and then I would just be backstage, or I was able to learn from him, and he was able to give me some acting tips. Him, Lemon Anderson, and so then I got into ATL. And I remember when ATL came out that week, 16 Blocks came out, and so we were number 3 in the box office, and 16 Blocks was number 5. So I actually got a chance to beat Mos at something or whatever. Not beat him, but you know what I mean? Because it wasn't my movie. 16 Blocks was his movie. But it was really dope. It was a dope time. 2005, I come back home with a little bit of. 2006, I come back home with a little bit of money. I'm in EO Dub, getting my shit straight. Just smoking some weed. Went from the regular weed to some exotic. And just overall in the spectrum of New York, that's when Sour hit 07, and then I went to California, and I started working at the Edmonds building, which is Babyface's wife's. She had a building where Tyrese had a studio, and I was just working in Tyrese's studio for a minute with curtains. Luke James, my man Q, and Sticks, and we had a group called Sax Fifth, and I was just always there. And then either I was there working on music, or I was at the record plant working with Kanye. So I was able to, 2007, I was able to be unsigned hype in the Source magazine and
Okay,
work
gotta
on
pause. What does
this
that
little
mean?
project
What
right
is?
here.
Oh my fucking gosh! Oh my fuck. That's so fucking cool. You have that's a real plaque.
Yeah, you want to see it?
No, but that's like what the like when they say I got a plaque on my wall. That's like the plaque that gets the plaque on the wall, right? Like that's what they mean.
Yeah.
Wow. Do y'all see
Yeah,
this?
they don't. You can't get an RIAA plaque made. You know, you could get it made, but
But
it's
no,
not going
but
to be
like-
Nah,
RIAA certified.
Yeah, they'll
Which
check
is the
they'll check your
industry.
name.
So this guy, he gets a plaque on the wall, and that album is like crazy, like right? Because like I heard this back in the day without registering who you were because I just didn't at the time. But I bumped that. I remember purchasing it, and I know that's on the deluxe side of it. But I know I looked up everything because YouTube existed back then.
Yeah, for you it wasn't deluxe.
Mm.
Every overseas version, I was on the regular album.
Like that's what it is. Cause I'm like cause I had that project and it was I remember it like it was one of the first albums I actually ever bought, like when I got into music. So technically speaking, you were on the first one of the first projects I ever purchased. Cause you know Kanye was there. I finally had financial independence. I'm like 20, and they were still selling CDs and stuff. But that's so fucking cool. Yo, we got a question from Zoo that I think is really interesting. Did you do any of the writing for Kanye? You don't have to answer if you don't want. That's a Zoo question. That's not a Holden question. But I gotta give it up to Zoo.
I worked on my record. Do 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 do. Damn. Do 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 do. Here we go again. You know what I mean? Like I never be picture perfect Beyonce, be light as Albe or Black Ass Shots. Like Stronger. I helped him with Stronger.
Wow.
Stronger was in a bad place before I got there.
Like that song right there, at one point in my life, I could do by heart, and I was singing it every single fucking day. Like honestly, that particular track, I played a lot in my life. Cause that Daft Hands went fucking huge at the same time as that song went fucking huge, and I'm like 20 years old smoking weed at fucking college and shit while this is all happening. So that's a huge part of my life, believe it or not. So if you enhance that track, you enhance my youth.
Yeah, no, listen to it. Do you know what I mean? You can kind of hear you can hear. But my thing is, when you never heard Kanye go, oh,
right.
Oh, that's so long up, whatever. But my thing is, flow-wise, I was like, yo, what are you trying to say? And he was like, I just, I don't want people to stop fucking with me. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's what I yelled at him. It was just me and him in the crib. His fiance at the time had just left. She just served us some fish tacos and everything was cool. I think we started getting deep in this Stronger thing. And I was like, my nigga, you are 8 Grammys in. What the fuck are you talking about? I was like, my nigga. I went like, and I started getting angry, right? I was like, my nigga, listen to me. Listen to me. Jay-Z needs you. I literally said that, bro. I literally was like, yo, they all need you. You're the one. You did it. Now let's go. That's why the idea you can hear is Stronger. What does kill me make me stronger? But that's the hook that always been there. You listen to the verses after Albe got there, it turned into the brash. You know what I mean? Bow in the presence of greatness.
I like it.
You know, I'll do something I've never done if Big Zoo is still there. If Big Zoo is still there, I'll do something I've never done.
I hope Big Zoo is still there.
Still here for sure.
Big Zoo, yes.
I also knew when I asked that writing question that you were gonna make that exact face when I asked. But I couldn't ask you like in public, so I asked you behind a black on somebody else's interview. That's how.
This is why we love Big Zoo's presence on this, and he's a welcome guy.
About Professor X. I think I remember a little bit of my verse, right? Let's get roast tonight. I used to roll grams of the OG tight. Now I'm the wizard of the OZ flights. So yeah, grams of little speaker trophies, right? Awesome. Now this is the difference of Paul. Get cash like I got pumpkin for balls. Trick or treat show to you so. Do anybody make hip hop anymore? I'll be back here to change this shit. Pop this button like a rapist. Scream and shout and take this. Oh damn, and I'm only halfway in. Shooter in the back, dick chain chicks. I'm tripping, I'm caught up with the matrix. I'm tipping, I'm caught up with the waitress. You slipping, you caught up with that lameness. New style, watch how Al Sam Davis tap dance. Then I act like I ain't this. What I do, I'm cooler than famous. So ain't this booty in my... Never mind, that shall remain nameless. Because if you knew, then you want to taste it. Luckily, my favorite color naked. And I love when she got her hair braided. So I treat her like I play for the Lakers. And she loved it because she know my favorite flavor did. A girl shake it. A don't break it. A go fake it. Until you make babies. Oh.
Yo.
Oh, that's how long I've been. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yo, that's 07 bars, son.
No, that was because you, like I said, yo, like that track, like I really fucks with it. Like if it comes on today, I'm like, let's get lost tonight. You could be my black Kate Moss today. Play secretary, you know, like that shit is like, I fucking love. Like, I'm not gonna go, but that shit is like, to this day, I fucking love that song. And then you gave us that, my guy. Wow.
Let's not mess up my sneaker connect. You know what I mean? So let's just honor the dude for all the glory that he is, and he will be our 47th
I'm
president.
a huge Kanye fan. I don't care what anyone says.
In the comments,
he will be our
praises
47th president. And
giving all praises due to Jesus.
No, but like for real, like anybody can say whatever, but like we do album reviews, right? Kanye West is a brilliant artist. I fucks with him heavy. Jesus is King is so fucking cool. Like I love what he did with the Sunday services. I like fucking listen. Like I don't care about all the prejudices. I go on the Twitter rants. I'm like, yo, Kanye has some interesting ideas here. Why y'all? Did you read the other stuff, or did you know? Like I'm not like one of those dudes. I fucks with Kanye because, like, yo, he inspired me. One time in 2013, I watched this interview where Kanye was talking, and he's like, yo, I'm more than a rapper. I'm more than that, right? And he started talking like this and that about all of his ambitions and his goals and what he wanted to be with his life. And I'm like, wait a second. You can be more than that? I swear, this is me. And I'd never listened to Kanye before. Before that, it was like Fish Sticks and all that shit from South Park, right? Because, you know, it is what it is. But then all of a sudden, I heard him talk for the first time. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, I don't think anybody's listening to Kanye. Now, let's be real. Like, let's say you're not on that fully neurotypical spectrum shit. Sometimes the world doesn't fully hear what you're trying to say. They look and isolate some shit, right? Like, that's just kind of what happens.
Till later. They won't do it till later, bro.
So, like, when
art is not... This is what if Vice has taught us anything, you know, I mean, he taught us so much, but, you know, art isn't for now. Art is for after you're gone and people could appreciate it in a different space. Art, you know, Picasso's album dropped. It's one thing, you know, but after he's gone, the Picassos are different because he can't recreate that. So we look at art as monetized quicker, like records sold $20 in my pocket. But that's not the essence of art. You know, It's for us to do the work, and then when we're gone, it'll be valued and appreciated. So I feel like, you know, years from now, years, when Ye's not here anymore, and there's, you know, 50 years from now, 60 years, and some kid picks up a college dropout or a late registration or a graduation, you know, they'll be able to see the duality and the genius of this man. But
I think it goes further than that personally. Like Twisted Dark Fantasy, 808s and Heart. You can basically run through his whole career, and if you're willing to be open-minded with it, like, yo, check it. A couple of years ago, Kanye dropped a bunch of 7-track projects that he curated, and everybody made fun of it. 2021, 4-track projects is like a fucking norm. The guy's a visionary, and I don't think people do give him his due credit.
Yeah, we was doing that. Black Thought had did it. Black Thought had did that 3 months before him. But Ye, I just got some sneakers they sent to my daughter. You want to see my daughter's?
Yes, we would love that.
They just sent me some.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then after that, we get back to the story of Albe.
Yeah, I'm cool with that too. This is amazing.
Holden's like, I mean, let the man go, Flaco. Just let him do what he's doing.
He's doing the best he's doing. People are
He's
loving what
he's
doing.
amazing. He's amazing. I'm a
Albe-
blessed person to have
Wow.
people like Albe in my life.
Listen, like that is a gorgeous shoe.
I don't think people understand how much of a dad I am, you know? And my daughter is way iller than I ever would be, ever, in the history of Everdome. Like, she's really magic. Vice used to love her as well. You know, was big Katie fan, Vice. And yeah, you know, my daughter is super talented, super ill. And so everything that I'm doing now, from that graduation publishing to everything, is for the upkeep of her. After 07, we come back into 08, to which I decide that I have the fortitude to release a record. And I released a record, and it was on Hot 97 for a month, and it's called Love You More. And it was one of the biggest records in the world to me. And Zoo, you guys, I don't know if you guys remember how we used to perform, and Zoo would sing the hook, and because the hook was so terrible, well, my voice on it was so terrible that I fell in love with EO Dub, because when they knew your hook and they sang it with you, you felt like you were in the group. You felt like Wu-Tang every time. So I was the only one. I don't know if I was the only one, but and Zoo could speak up for this, but I was the only one in 2008. This is big. This is pivotal, because this is the one thing I did in the year, was got better at that and Love You More. Was I love you, but I love you more. If we wasn't together, baby, listen, I love you. And I remember, yo, Zoo and Vice, they were singing it. I don't know, Zoo, if you remember the John.
I do.
And those are the greatest lyrics I've ever said in my life. Now listen, I heard your complaints. I heard you on the phone, you riffing. You say you in pain. You say you feel there's something missing. Well, get on a plane. Go find another love to visit. The ship has sailed. You might as well keep your fucking distance. My space is my space. Stop sending pictures. I love the way you looking at blue. Oh, fuck, what is this? I can't take it no more. All right, baby, it's wrong. I can't fake it no more. My heart is already gone. Degrees of separation. And you're my Kevin Bacon. But assalamu alaikum. I'm tired of the confrontation. I'm tired of the constant hating. It's half empty for you. I'm like Pepe Le Pew. I think the pussy's painted. I wish the coochie came with instructions how to tame it. I stopped calling your ass, and now your ass is naked. And now our ass is caking. It's like I'm always waiting on your ass to change, but my ass never had the patience, baby. Listen, I love you. Yo, and I was rocking that shit. And it changed my life, because I was on the radio, my eyes popped, and I was like, yo, we in VIM, and my song is on, and it's popping. And I felt the world on my back. But, and this is where the sad part comes. My man's gone. My man. You know what I mean? No disrespect to all that have been my friends since that. But no one was able or could hold me down the way he did. So no one understood me. So I would get shit done, but people would look at me like, you got it. You're doing it. And so no one would. So like, I remember Zoo could tell you, you know, that fateful day when I invited him and the boys to my house, that scenario, it felt like I was doing that to everyone, but I didn't. I only did it to them. I was like, please, I have something coming. I know I got a pinky in the door. Just, I want to grab the EO Dub flag. I want to fly. I wanted to be exactly what I saw they was for Just James, right, or what my perception was. Because of course I was outside the bubble, and this was 2008. This really matters to me because I didn't get that. I didn't get a chance to get that team, and everyone had a team. So there was no one that was coming out next year. Drake, Wale, Meek Mill, J. Cole. There was no one in that class that didn't have a squad behind them. You can arguably say that the Young Money, Bedrock, and Sleep with Every Girl in the World was just a kind of constructed fixture to make Drake seem like he had a big team.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no rapper that ever made it without a group or a team.
Facts.
Outside of LL, a little bit of Fab. You know, even though Fab had that Joe Buttons and Paul Kane and Ransom thing, but like a little bit of Fab and LL. Outside of those, like, kind of like, out of all the people in the game, everyone had a team. So all my team was an open mic squad. You know what I mean? That was it. That's all I had. My nigga died. So I'm on the loose, just trying to go do my thing. And then I was like, oh shit. I had Pun's ashes in my crib, and I was living on the 32nd floor at the Ritz-Carlton. Zoo, you were there, you remember? And
I was there.
I was told that you're not supposed to smoke anything off of a candle because it's like stealing souls. I remember hearing that in 2006 when we went to India one time. And I remember hearing that, don't touch a candle the wrong way. And I did one time after that and never did again. But I smoked a blunt off of a candle while Pun's ashes was in my crib. And I was with Pun, it was just me and Pun. I'm smoking a blunt off the candle, talking to him. And I wrote Mira Mira in, like, I'm talking about, this shit's 5 minutes. Like, literally, I was like, you know me, I'm NYC. So you know I'm rolling deep. Some with you, some with me. We could all fit in the Jeep. Like, I was just flying. So 2009, I created this song after that little blunt, Mira Mira, and I got Fab on it. And I produced the record. I'm thinking, no disrespect to anyone, and please, nobody feel offended like, man, we should have been there for Albe, because that's not the truth. My mother, right? My cousins, my actual blood, they wasn't. They didn't know how to support me. They didn't know how to love me. They never even came to my graduations. Both of them. So both graduations. So it's like, when you feel that feeling of all right, good, Albe, that's cool. It's never like, I've seen people go to people's showcases that are bombs. I'm talking about, they're never gonna make it. And they have their t-shirt on, like, yo, never for me. Never for me. You guys have never seen any family member. I've done countless shows. They've never been to any show, not one cousin. There was one time at the New Year weekend where they all came and my mom came and I did a song to her. Other than that, in the 100 shows I've ever done, I've never had a family member there just to love me, just to know my lyric, not one. So you deal with that. I'm getting records with big people, but my own family's not there with me. So when everybody comes to me, they go, nobody else is here. We'll catch up with you when everybody else likes you. You know what I mean? We got some Drake to do. There's nothing I can do. So when people go, why are you not in movies? Why are you not in this? Man, Jesus Christ of Nazareth and Latter-day Saints. If I wasn't trying, I was there. I was in it. So I did the Mira Mira, did an album that was hosted by Mick Boogie, who does like presidential fucking DJ shit now. It was called High. And on that album, there's a record with me, KRS-One, and MC Lyte. Just us three. Called 16, 17, and 18. Where KRS-One takes 16, MC Lyte takes 17, and I take 18. None of our friends got that. Not one. There's no rappers that did a song with MC Lyte and KRS-One if he wasn't on Self-Destruction. And here I am in the studio with them. And they're both like, you killed it, Albe. I come home and it's like, yo, so tell me about T.I. You know what I mean? And so on that album, I had that. I had the joint with me, Kanye, and Mos. I had the joint with Fab, joint with Hussein, skits, all that. And it just, nobody heard it. It was called High. It came out 4/20, 2009. Next year, I'll Be Getting Money featuring Mano, shot the videos, did all that. And then I got depressed. And I said to myself, man, then, you know, when you lose a record, it feels weird. And I got caught under a battle between Power 105 and High 97. They were battling each other in the city at that time. So Power was doing a lot of R&B stuff, and High 97 is playing a mixture of both. And here's my record that gets played by enough, Cast One, Bobby Trends, all this High 97 shit, and Power's going, oh, that's a High 97 Puerto Rican record. And they totally bypassed the poet, Pun's cousin, the whole thing. They bypassed it and just, so I got shunned from there. So when I lost my record, it was like losing a baby. And I was depressed for the first time in my life. I never felt loss. And mad people died, but that was like a loss. And she called out to me, bro, you know, Katie said, it's my turn. And I got you. And so had Katie and was with her every day and just was a dad and honed my skills. Within that, there's plays and stuff, but I understood the writing part of my gift. So I started writing commercials with Beats by Dre, and I was working for Beats by Dre even before they were Apple. And I was a creative director. When Apple came in, they saw all the things that I was doing, and they gave me a position as a creative director in Apple.
Hold on, we gotta stop. I need people to know how big that is, cause yo, Apple
Yeah.
only fucks with like creme de la creme. Like if Apple buys you and they keep you, like
Yeah, they
that's
kept me.
that's like I don't know, like pick your favorite label
I was
in the
making,
world. And
yo,
you're
bro,
like,
I was making like $1,500 a day.
what the fuck, man? Yo,
It was so fun.
who the
I was
fuck is
wildin',
like
bro.
who
I
are
was
you, Albe
wildin'.
Back? Who are you? How do you go
I
from
was wild.
I'm
Yo, I
a
was having so
movie
much
star
fun.
guy?
And sometimes,
That's
You're
the
a fucking
fucking
but
bounce
corporate
back.
like I
Let me
did
tell you
LeBron
something.
commercials. Like I swear, I want you guys to understand, I don't boast like this. So that's why
No.
nobody
You
knows.
don't.
But like
You
I was
don't.
doing LeBron commercials. Like there's commercials that's me and my team. Like the solo selfie we came up with, right? Let me tell you something right now. This anybody listening to my voice, and I know it's recorded, so it doesn't like this is the actual factual truth. The Royal edition of the solo twos is my collection. That's my collection. I named it the Royal Edition. I named each color the rose because of Pac, the hunter green because that was an aerosol color. Like I named them. Like this is a fact though. Like you go into my laptop, you see, man, I could show you shit. Right?
Yo,
So this is
Albe,
2016.
you're like
And
a
then
hero, my
everything
guy.
is cool up until Kanye come into the office. All the white people on and not just white people, but just tech people, they didn't see the movie. They didn't hear about any of this shit. They don't know Big Pun. So they just treat me purely on my creativity and what I can handle, right? So I'm working on, at the time I was working on having the cast of The Wire complain about life with The Wire, sounding like they hate The Wire because now the cast on The Wire is wireless, right? So I'm working on it. I'm in my office working on it. And then Ye, out of nowhere, I didn't even know he was there. Ye goes, yo, Albe, man, what you doing here? Right? And when they saw that Ye knew me, then they started Googling and go, oh, and then they started treating me a little different. Then it became to handle some of the celebrity things and, you know, like, go get T.I. these headphones. And then it became, my ego was like, but I'm me. You know what I mean? Like, I want to do this commercial. And it's like, yo, chill out. And I was like, nah, I can't chill. So then we didn't leave on bad terms, but I left, you know, and because I have a journey. And taking care of my daughter was more than just getting her food and shelter. It was carving our name into forever. So when she walks around, people walk with people see that reputation of an art kid named Daniels, and she's one of them too. So I became a mom dad, and my baby mother, as much as great as she's done, I was doing a little more just having her because I'm just a single guy, and I had my daughter by myself a lot, and I just took that seriously until she turned 7. And then I started to see, I know Zoo, you can attest for this, when they start to get to a place where they are people. Like they were people before, but now it's like, oh, you're a whole thing and you got it. If you got hungry, you could get up and get your own shit. And like, you understand me fully. Like now it's not like something would happen to me and you have to tell somebody, tell me about my dad. You know what I mean? So she turned 7. I zeroed back into the artist you see now, which is putting music, putting ghostwriting. I'm doing so much within my day in the writing front that I'm just a totally different person than I was in the dark years that no one heard of me because I was just being a dad. Not that I stopped, but my journey is continuing until Katie's ready to pick up the mic. So I say all that to say it was Pun, and then it was me by myself working with Ye, working with Mos Def, and then I did everything on my own in 2009. And 2009 was a really hard year because I lost my record with the Mira Mira joint. I couldn't do it by myself. I had no support, and so I then stood with writing and stood studying Meisner, which is a acting coach, and Ivana Chubbuck, and studying the craft of acting. So I just got stronger at acting, stronger at writing, stronger at marketing, and just working myself to be a better man, to hopefully, and then, time flies, and I lose my man last year, which is, when we was just talking about Pun, I've been talking about Pun for the last 2 days, and people are excited to hear these stories about Pun that they never heard. And it's different for me because that's my man. So when y'all talk about him, it's different. Same with vice versa, even though we were on the stage together, because I was in Brooklyn by myself with my daughter, walking from the school that she was accepted in to Ox Crib, Vice House was along the way for 3 or 4 months, every day I had a brother there with me, telling me I was worth it.
Thank you for sharing.
And so losing him was really hard. And in this last year, I've just done everything I could to prove to him that he was right.
Can I just say that the project you dropped, the visual album thing, is a great piece of art that was just put out, and that last song that you did for Vice is a truly beautiful piece of music that I just think really shows how much you loved him. And I watched that, and like I don't know, it's really cool that you are willing to put your heart and soul into your music like that and share it with people.
I don't think I am where I am in life without Vice. So I try to tell people the Domino, and I don't know if they, I could articulate myself. There's a lot of people that passed, and Pun is what he was, but Vice is the only man, the first man, I think, who had lyrics, who was like, yo, that verse you did with that line, say it again. Just that gave me fuel, man. And that was before ATL, that was before ATL, because I remember I had a few songs done and nobody would listen. Nobody. It was only VZ. Jess James is when Jess James, I was in the crowd one time and Jess James grabbed the mic, and when Jess James grabs the mic in 2005, this is fresh off Dojo lyrics. You know what I mean? So everybody in the squad knows the lyrics, and they're having a great time hyping this little young man up, who I thought they was just trying to keep off the street. I always looked at it like, this kid's gonna be a problem if he's not here, so we kept him here. That's how I looked at it. It probably wasn't that, but that's how I looked at it. And so he came on, he was like, hey, y'all, I'm about to spaz out, last out, last out, and everybody's like, that shit changed me. So I looked at that and I watched it and I wanted that. But they wasn't gonna give me that because they don't know me. I just paid $10. It was VZ that made me feel. You never see a performance of me on stage and he's not there. I wouldn't go on till VZ came up with me. I'm like, yo, Vice, there's one time where you see him, he doesn't even want to get on stage. He's below the stage. He's like, all right, Albe, I want to leave already, or like I want to get into my drinking part of the night. You know what I mean? So it's like I never would want to do anything without him because he didn't even know. Man, you know. Yeah. So so Lost Vice last year, and it gave me the new energy that I needed. He's with me. He makes me right and gets me tighter and gets me better. And so we're doing everything that we can to uplift his name, and that's what I'm gonna be doing for the rest of my days. So if you ask that, what you're gonna be doing in the future is making sure the world knows these verses from Vice. And and I got this cartoon that I'm doing right now, a Pixar cartoon with my man Jackie Long, who was in ATL with me. We have a cartoon that's really dope. It's really intelligent. Snoop's in it, 50. There's a bunch of names that are going to be a part of it. It's a really classic joint, and so in a nutshell, from me as 5 to 2090, from 98 to 2005 where I shoot ATL, to 2009 where I dropped Mira Mira and I'm in the streets as an MC, to now, then going to Beats by Dre in 2016 and dropping the album that you heard, that you listened to. I dropped that in 2016. Then I dropped the Notebook in January on my birthday. So and there's so much more. I mean, I'm coming. Yeah. And there's a small little beef with Talib Kweli, but we'll get that to another time.
That's amazing. I do know, I have heard that song, so I know what you're talking about, but we can save it for
what, Chancleta?
Yeah, I heard that Chancleta song. Yeah, I know what that is personally. But yo, I just have to say, I'm a big fan of your music. I heard a whole bunch of it. And as like a person who just likes consuming music, you really like the ALBum. I don't know, because you capitalized your ALB, right? I get it, Albe, right? Albe.
Yeah, or the album.
Right.
Yeah, the album is called the album.
So when I listen to that shit as an album reviewer, because I did a lot, like we're talking hundreds. So I go into a certain mode where I'm looking for certain things, and that album in particular was very special for me to listen to because it stood the fuck out, right? It was all over the place sonically. So track to track, it also feels like you're kind of moving along this journey. There was also like just snippets of your life. I actually Googled things after and learned stuff about you throughout the because I was listening, right? And you're telling the story of yourself throughout this project. Like, I didn't know you did a song with Kanye West until you brought up doing a song with Kanye West on that album. And then I discovered that shit and I'm like, holy fuck, right? Like, and it just connected a bunch of dots. Or like the Sneaker fucking track where you're just giving love to it. And it was just this song where describing a desire for the old shoes that are left over when Kanye West pivots. Like, fuck it, don't let that go to waste. Give it to me.
Yeah, it was I wanted to see how I could start a record where it was warm and then eventually got cold. But how can you represent cold? Like how can you represent cold in a record? So I got Ghostly Cold, and I stripped the beat, and then Ghost is, Styles P is like, phantoms and the ghosts.
No, man,
talk to me because I'm dope. Yeah.
But to be fair, man, it was the love poem, the interlude, followed up into that other one that was one of my favorites. Poison is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful masterpiece. I don't know who the lady is. I didn't have time to figure that out. because the second half.
What song is it?
I think it's Poison. At least one of them. Halfway through, it stops. It cuts for a second, and then a lady takes over and starts talking for the second half of the track. And it was a beautiful, like, fucking song. I'm pretty sure it was that. Let me check Spotify real quick. No, it's Pen, not sorry,
Pen.
it's Pen. So I talked to Poison Pen recently, and that shit got confused in my head. So I apologize for that.
Right,
so
Poison Pen.
Yeah, so Pen.
And you
is
said
what
a
I meant.
lady talks?
Yeah, like halfway through or something. And maybe it's not a lady, maybe it's you, but I thought it was like somebody else.
Yeah, it's me.
Oh my
you know
fucking
what's
gosh.
funny? That's a secret track. Do you guys remember when motherfuckers used to have secret tracks?
Yes, I did a
Like
whole
we used
video
to
on
have
that
like
shit.
records that were after the record, like minutes after. You could just start listening to another record. Nas had it on It Was Written. So I wanted to do a secret track. The secret track is a prelude to Pen. Pen is an idea that a girl should be writing her man in jail, but just having a conversation, talking to him. And the prelude is how he got arrested. And that's called The Door Knocker, where she becomes a door knocker and knocks on people's doors so that her man could come in busting through. And there were a lot of women out there who were door knockers, you know, and just that experience. So it's so crazy that you picked on Pen. Pen is such a good. That's a beast. That's a beast record.
I mean, I didn't realize it was a hidden track. In hindsight, now that you say it, it makes sense. But we're in the Spotify era, so it's just 7 minutes, and I just was like, whatever, and listened to it as a single one. But yeah, the whole thing, dude. I love your album. I would qualify it under my like modern classic. Like I can't tell you if in 10 years it's gonna still be a classic, because that's how you really know. Time passes. Because that's how, when you were talking about sales before, I'm like, here's the truth about it, right? Like, when you go back and look at what's amazing, it doesn't really matter what sold. It's kind of what's interesting still today. And that's the thing, is I heard this album honestly this week for the first time, because again, I'm kind of doing this in, you know, the week of doing my researches real quick. And I listened to that, and I honestly want to listen to it again. And I've heard a lot of music, and I don't always feel like that. So in a sincere way. And when I heard your Notebook project, my guy, with the fucking cell phone effects, music video shit, I was just sitting there going, wow. And I'm not bullshitting. You can go watch me reacting to it in this video on Twitch after, so that you can see how not bullshit. I watched your fucking song album, the Pen thing, for the first time on the stream. Right? And I was able to still remember this shit. You have the song with the ladies, the second one. You have the really dark track. Then you have the last one with Vice. That was just a beautiful way to like close out the. It was brilliant, man. It's just so good. And your bars are sincere. You hear this depth and this range in you. And modern marketing, 15 minutes, digestible, and you put visuals, which matters to a whole bunch of people, and kept it interesting on a low tech at home kind of fucking thing. That is what we call how to fucking do it in this era. You did it, my guy. I loved it. And then I know that, you know, the views might not be there today and now, but we talking, because I saw it was.
They'll never be there. I don't think they'll ever be there.
I don't think you're correct, my guy, because you are the
because even though you like it, it's still a team thing. I've never had a team, and I probably never will. See what I'm saying? So at the end of it all, shout out to Logan. Used to love your shit, man. You being on open mic, you give so much inspiration. If you don't have a team, you're not going to make it. They don't want to see you without someone else. It's not. And anyone I'm involved with now would just be disingenuous towards it. Just be the art form in that spectrum. I'm a poet, so I'm lately for the years to come, I'm going to take more of that stance. And then if this cartoon does what it's supposed to do, I don't see me making projects where the team is there. But I've never, if you look at it, I have thousands of friends, not only followers, but friends. And nobody retweeted the Notebook. The lines on the Notebook are amazing. Like if we could go song for song. Hot Fire, the joint with Jess James, the joint with the Michael Jackson sample, ding, 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 feeling in the way. Shit is kind of late, but I'm talking like I know what to say, and it should be right now. Wow. Feeling, you know what I mean? Like that shit, these are records that can be placed in movies and stuff, and they will be before they'll be accepted by my friends. My friends don't look at me you're a contemporary, like on the outside of it, and you could indulge in it. But when it comes to the longevity in the game, you're not gonna be successful if your friends don't fuck with you. Because the moment everyone comes to you, they're gonna go, but you don't even have friends that would tweet your shit. Why would I tweet it?
Well, you know what
And
I've
so that's
learned,
the
I
fucking.
Albie,
gotta just
is
counter
that
that if I can.
check
Okay,
it,
go ahead, Flacco, because I
check it.
got one too.
Yeah, nah. What I've learned in the last few years that I've always kind of known and I've always practiced, but like I practice it more than ever now, is that I'm trying to be the change that I want to see in the world, and that's not what's gonna happen over here. As long as I got air in my lungs, you know what I mean. I'm always gonna be here
Yeah,
for
nah,
you,
yeah, man.
and
That's, you know what I'm saying. That,
we'll form a little army over here, and our own
yeah,
little
I
online
wish.
street team over here, and our own
Yeah,
little following over here. And
it's all good, baby.
everybody who's
I've
here,
accepted it.
No, but
I've
like
accepted it because
I just gotta like interject a little bit here, man. Cause yo, if you were to like talk to me last year, honestly, I'm like sitting there going, nobody fucks with me, nobody's talking to me, nobody likes me. I'm like having this feeling like I don't
no,
have friends and shit. And
I'm not saying
I'm not.
nobody likes
No, I'm
me.
not saying it like
I'm not
that.
saying
I'm
nobody
saying
likes
it's the
me.
same kind of feeling though, of like nobody has my
Oh
back like that, right? In that regard. So I'm feeling that way.
no, I'm not
Or
saying that,
not
brother.
nobody.
Wait.
Maybe I'm framing this
Let's get the
wrong.
verbiage right. Let's
All
get the
right.
verbiage right. No one knows how to love me. They don't know how to.
Okay.
They think I already have it. So everything that I did from the notebook, I did that in 7 days.
That's amazing.
Everything. See, I do it. So people look at it and go, "Oh, Albie has it." They don't look at it like I'm helping. Let's go, Albie. They don't do that part because they don't think that I need it.
But
So it's not that they don't like me or I'm not liked.
no, I
I'm
can hear
liked
what
and
you're
loved.
saying there. So maybe they don't appreciate parts of it. But what I was gonna go with is,
Yeah.
this is the internet now. We're in a completely different era. Let's be real. A year
Yeah.
ago, there's a good chance I never would have talked to you just on geography. All right, like just on
Right.
just on facts. But here's the thing: you put yourself out sincere. And when I was talking to this young 22-year-old earlier this week about what's cool to the youth. You know what? You know what they consider the manliest shit ever right now? Being as sincere and raw about emotions as you're being. That is the manliest shit in the fucking world right now. So effectively, you are an alpha male in the eyes of youth in the way that the world is working right now. I would argue that this next decade is going to be very fucking kind to somebody like you, and you just don't know it yet, and you don't see it yet. But when I look at you, my guy, I'm going like I'll be fucking back fan. I'm gonna go fucking shout your name out to everybody I know. You know, like you just maybe didn't meet the people yet. Maybe you didn't meet
Right.
them. The future is like forever and shit.
Kevin, what up?
So when it comes
Yeah,
down
man.
to it, that
Yeah,
might
God
be,
is good.
it ju-
This is our time. You know, I'm just way more loyal than
sometimes
it's just it's never you're
sometimes
never
in
gonna
life it's
man.
like that, but then you have I'm inspired from this conversation. You gave me a gift. You knew you were giving me a gift, and you gave me that gift. But I appreciate the gift that you gave me on this stream, all right? Like I appreciate it to the depth of what you did, man. You made this so amazing. You didn't have to. You could have been boring with it.
Hey man, we did our thing on this one, man.
Yeah, no, thank you, brother. Thank you. I always
I
save
lost
mine
you.
for the end. You know what I mean? But I mean, you did definitely do the whole life story. But like, like I love you to death,
No, we
bro.
gotta go
You know
above
what it
and beyond.
is.
Did you not see the performance art that the man did in the middle of this? Like nobody's fucking moving around like that, doing this thing natural.
Yeah.
Like there were people
And know
commenting
that,
like, "I love how he's
yeah,
lying
like,
on the
know that-
floor."
know that I give you your flowers in private too. Like
Oh,
when
you
there's
do.
nobody there and it's just me and Holden. Holden will tell you because he's here. You know what I mean? And I'm like, let me tell you
No, you
something.
do.
My bro is gonna be a different type of interview. And I was like, get ready. People don't have energy like my bro. They don't have like the that's why I found when you said Biz Markie, Bobby Brown, Slick Rick, to me, I'm like, it's like when you picking a lock and everything finally clicks and you're like, oh,
But
that
I'll be
makes
man.
wild sense to me. I understand, like as another artist, like I get it, Papi. You know what I'm saying? So like when I see it, I'm like, yo,
But you gotta
and
like,
Holden's absolutely right. There are a lot of people that they're gonna see this
like,
and they're gonna be inspired
yo,
because
like
that's
I
what
think
people
you
want
gotta,
nowadays. Is
you also
somebody to
gotta
be
like think
real
about how
and
global,
raw,
how
hmm
global this is. We
and
have
pure.
Golden Jenny in Norway, who's gonna maybe go bring Albe back to Norway, and now you're over there,
hmm
and that's kind of what it is. I mean, listen, yo, you're muted again. I'm sorry. I'll be
You're
back.
muted,
You're
Papi.
muted.
You're muted.
You're muted. Yeah. All right, you're
I
good.
thank God for all my blessings. I told you in the beginning of the podcast that I felt incredibly lucky and gifted, and I felt blessed. So with great blessing comes you know a responsibility to not only remember that you're blessed, but figure out how to distribute your blessings and pour your blessings out of you so that way God could fill you up with new ones. So I was able to do that by not being bitter by the people that weren't there or didn't post me or didn't
Oh,
listen to my album.
we got somebody from
I just feel
Iceland
bad.
giving you love right
I
now
just
too.
I just feel bad really quick. I just feel bad that I am such in a limelight and that my friends don't know how to approach me. I don't know how to do that because Dutch, you tell them as soon as you sent the song, I sent it back. I'm available, but no one know. It's almost like they don't want to big me up that way.
Yeah.
They want to keep me on a level of them or whatever, not in a malicious way, but they don't want to look at me like, and I don't want to be looked at like that. I just want to help. So, but in order for us to do that, we got to get me in the door as well. And I really feel like a lot of my contemporaries are New Yorkers that feel like, yeah, right, nigga, we get you in and you're going to leave us. So we just, and that's some slave shit that is not even
Yeah,
their
that's some
fault. So
other
I'm not
shit.
even
It's
mad
some
at.
other shit that our people got to deal with.
Yeah,
Like it's just some internalized
yeah,
other shit that's
Like,
like a lot and it's much.
like,
But
right.
I do agree and understand exactly what you're saying, and you're not
Yeah,
wrong.
it's not,
no,
I
I
don't think
mean,
it's them.
so I
I
hear,
don't,
I hear what you're saying in terms of a local sense, right? And I appreciate what you're saying because I think, in a sense, like I know it, I don't fully relate to your experience, but I have my own experiences where there are people in my life who just don't understand what I do, even family members, right? Family members don't really understand what I do, even though I can explain it, whatever, and it doesn't matter. So I can appreciate what you're saying, but I guess what I'm trying to convey to you is that in this new world that we're in, right? In this new world, like we have somebody from Iceland here, Norway, my boy JLB, right? Like he's in Montreal. He's in the chat right now. There's all these people. Sammy C's in
shout out to
Montreal.
Montreal.
I think DJ Cabin's somewhere interesting too. I might be wrong. So you have people
Brooklyn.
like, okay, yeah, it's still interesting. It is what it is. I just saw the name. I just ran with it. Sorry. I don't know. Brooklyn's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
cool to
Keep
me.
going.
Like, yo, Brooklyn's so
Keep going.
cool to me. Like
Nah,
all of this is
Brooklyn is
cool.
wild cool. That's
It
why
is.
it's extra points for Albie to be Brooklyn. Like he
Yeah, it is.
was Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Like
So I
he
guess what I'm.
represented, and Brooklyn didn't. And let me tell you something. If it wouldn't have been, Brooklyn approved, like Brooklyn would have trashed him back then. But and that was like the birth of really like the modern day internet. You know what I mean? Like they would have, but they didn't. You want to know why? Because it was respectfully. It was good. Everything was a Bronx guy being named Brooklyn was perfectly acceptable. Nobody from Brooklyn was upset. Poppy, your mic, Albie.
I named myself Brooklyn. I wasn't Brooklyn in.
Mm.
Originally, his name was Patches, and I was like, "The fuck out of here with that."
I like the Brooklyn name.
That made no sense. I did a Canadian movie. I'm in it briefly, but I coached all the rappers all the actors how to rap, and then I coached all the rappers how to act. It was a battle rap movie that came out last year, and I produced it. I'm literally on set working with everyone, getting them sharper, helping with the lines, helping with lyrics and stuff like that. And it was the first YouTube movie to ever be.
You're talking about Bodied, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So actually, we do really well on the keyword for bodied on YouTube for our review of it, and people consistently click on that shit, click off. But I saw that you were in that, and I have to tell you that that movie was extremely important for me. So the fact that you even were involved in that, I wanted to bring it up hopefully at some point.
Involved. Shoosh. I could tell you stories about body.
Oh my gosh.
On that set, people use me as a verb. Like the white girl on that set, the lead, forget her name. Oh no, I forget her name, but she was like, "Man, I wish I had an Albie." She was like, and then everybody was like, "What?" Because she's a white girl, right? So you like, like you wish you had her, like I. And she's like, "No." Like Disaster was there. You can ask him, Hollow, and she was like, because I was helping Jackie Long, which is one of my best friends, and she was like, "I wish I had somebody who is my best friend helping me, even though he's just as good as me, but putting himself aside to make sure my film is the best it could be. I wish I had an Albie." And then everybody's like, "Yeah, I got an Albie, my man Derek," and like that, like you know what I mean? It was like that's me, man. I'm ready to add and to the game, no matter what, no matter if nobody knew I worked on Bodies or not. That's my
that
project.
movie is so
you know?
big for me because I didn't understand battle rap at all, at all before Bodied, and we watched Bodied, right? So one of my patrons forced us to like do a full review for that shit, right? So a guy like
You and Bonnie watch Bodied,
and did a full review that is currently available, and we do really well on the keyword when you look for Bodied. So we're right there. We're like right next to the official fucking movie most times you search it. So we went through the whole plot of this movie. But here's the thing, man. That movie was like, I used to be the protagonist of that movie. Like in all the worst fucking ways possible, down to his desire to use certain language and find scapegoat ways around it. That movie was big for me. So first of all, I had to like face some demons within myself watching that movie and realize there might still be some shit to work on. But secondarily, I didn't understand half the reasons people did shit in battle rap till I watched that movie. And then when you had your fucking language popping up on screen where it's like an XO's XO and all that shit, I was like, oh, bars. He's like, it really, really helped me become a better album reviewer. And for the rest of our lives, I wouldn't be here today probably talking to you with the finesse and everything if it wasn't for Bodied. It was a big part of my growth. So the fact that you created that helped me get to a point where I can talk to you, which is a weird kind of cool full circle thing in my opinion. I just want you to know that sometimes like your work reaches way fucking farther and has way deeper impacts than you may even know.
Yeah, shout outs to Kid Twist, Canadian. Bunch of Canadians was in that film. Pat Stay. That's why it's a Canadian film. He wrote it, even though it was shot in LA as if we were in the Bay. But
Shouts out to the whole battle rap community. Shouts out
Poison Pen's in it. Pen.
Shouts out to Poison Pen.
Footage. If you ever want exclusive footage of Body, the behind the scenes stuff of me, Pen, everybody running around, I can literally get that to you. No problem.
Yes, that would be so fucking cool. Yes, that would be like amazing.
Yeah. But I gotta get going. I really gotta clean this crib.
Is it okay if I just record my outro sound bit so that we can wrap it up for the YouTube video?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, buddy. Did you and then like for future, tomorrow I'm on Clubhouse talking about pun all day. Please come and like ask questions or we share stories. About pun. I got an album coming out in 2 weeks called You Will Say My Name.
I will.
And
we say your name now, we say your name always, baby.
Yo.
Me and Dutch got 3 records. I got 4 records that Dutch produced already on there.
That's amazing. So
that encouraged her record. It's crazy, huh, Dutch?
I can't wait.
Yeah, it is.
That's just stupid.
And I just want to clarify that I'm not a beat maker. I'm just a producer in the true sense of the word, like
Quincy Jones.
Like Quincy Jones.
The Latin Quincy. The Latin Quincy.
Yo, honestly,
I'll take that.
So
so 2 weeks. That's dropping. Yeah, there's some more Tyler Kweli stuff.
That's amazing.
Just because no one's exempt. You know, I'm a Bronx kid, man. I'm really from the Bronx. I'm really from the home of this. And if I feel like being a mall cop in hip hop, I can. You know, I really feel like that. I could really say what I want because I am one of hip hop's sons. So I feel like that. So I want to put him in his place, and I want the evolution of the game to get better. I want us to get hungry again.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna show people with my energy that that's where I'm at.
So yo, I'll be back. I have to thank you personally for making my life better because as more people like you, you don't have to be here. You choose to be here, and I appreciate
Yeah,
the
bro.
gift you gave me again.
Thank
'Cause I
you.
just want you to know
Thank
from
you
the
so
bottom of my
much.
heart from that, like I really do. I think you're incredible, and I will be an advocate of I'll be back moving forward. I promise.
That means the world to me, King. And I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna prove to you, and everything that you said to me today. You know, I don't get enough, because if I did, I would have the feeling feel right now. The things that you were saying about songs makes me want to just really get this fucking studio hooked up really quick because I just took it down last night and start working on some shit. So when artists hear it, you know, don't take it for granted. Like sometimes they really do need to hear.
Yo,
Man, that
my
shit was
man,
amazing.
I'll
That
be
line
back
was
if you
amazing.
need help with anything, and it is within my power to help you. Done.
Oh man, thank you, brother. Well, just listen to the notebook and share it. I think it's pretty dope.
We did that.
I also got Kid on the album
I don't know who that
from
is.
G Unit.
Okay, I'm excited on your. I'm trying
I
to
was
catch
like, what
up
the?
quick. But yo, like for real, I'll be back again. Thank you, cause like it's amazing. I know you gotta go. I just want to make sure we get that sound bit in. So yo, thank you for being here with us. It's really amazing. You helped us bridge a lot of gaps, at least for me, and I know a lot of people watching it, which makes us live up to the show's name, which makes everybody still fucking love it, and it makes you incredible. It makes you a hero. You're a hero for doing this, my guy. That's how I feel
Thank you,
about
bro.
you. But yo, all the people watching on all the platforms that are out there watching this, fucking incredible. Thank you for being here because you make it a show.
Thank you.
Knowing people are watching from around the world, let's be real, that's kind of litty, bro. I fucking yeah, you see what it is. But that's kind of like it just makes it so cool. We appreciate you all so very fucking much. So yo, definitely make sure to hit the subscribes and the follows and all that good stuff. So make sure to check out End of the Week if you're on my end because yo, End of the Week, you see them, they're fucking incredible. We're on their Zoom. Without them, this doesn't fucking happen. Okay.
Without them, this doesn't happen.
Facts.
Yo, it's true, man.
Rest
Shouts
in
to
peace,
Sammy.
Vice versus. This all isn't Vice always with us.
Shouts to
Vice
Bonnie.
is-
Shout out
Vice
to
is
Bonnie
the
too.
inspiration.
That's
And
always a
shouts
big
to
shout out.
Bonnie, yes.
It's always appropriate to shut up Bonnie, in my opinion. But yo, thank you again for being here so very much. And yo, live long and fucking prosper, everybody. And I suppose
Can I spit an old verse before I go?
absolutely.
Spit a verse and shout your social media, and we'll put your social
Yeah,
media.
well, my
in the
name is
chat.
Albe Back. My name is Albe Back. ALBEBACK everywhere. You know, it's the
I'm getting the Insta now.
21 year anniversary of Albe Back. I became 21. I became Albe Back 21 years ago, and I'd say nobody said welcome home or congratulations. Fuck the movie. I'm talking about the graduation. Fuck the groupies. I'm talking about my lyrics, Jason. And I ain't fixing air conditioners. I'm singing statements. Fanless, bandless. No garages in the projects.
Okay.
Only Quanishas and Pregnatashas. Hopefully without the monster. Break down what? My apartment knows my entendres. Offhand and armless. Tell young nigga, reach for the stars, your wallet. Cause Ben Franklin like the holy prophet. When we see him, we gonna bow, honest. And you cannot stop it. College dropout, 2 words, fuck it. Late registry, middle fingers to Sally Mae, and to whom it may concern, the best jobs go to slaves. America stuck a flag in the moon, so we straight. The universe belongs to the president of the day, and the city belongs to the John Mayer, and the block belongs to the drug dealer God Slayer. You selling keys wasn't benefit for me, It was mommy, where you going? Mommy, mommy, why you leave? I hit the trees and your life pro bono. Rest in peace to my twin. I gotta live solo. I'll be back.
Yo, that was beautiful.